Yeah. The same dirt diamond on the Friday lights, same town showing up every night. Names change, years roll by, but this game never said goodbye. From hand-me-down gloves to brand new dreams, every era left something in these seams. You don't replace what built this ground, you stand on it and play it loud. If this field could talk, it'd tell you all. Every pitch matters in this town. This is Decatur, this is how we play. 9 innings, no shortcuts, earn it every day. Stand up, let it ring, from the bleachers to the wall. This town plays ball with the Decatur Bean Ballers. Beanball baller, beanball baller.
We welcome you into beautiful Mtn Dew Park down here in Thrillville in Southern Illinois, Marion, Illinois, for the penultimate game of the inaugural season for the Decatur Bean Ballers. Daniel Herzog, Truman Griesel with you. Welcome in to all those of you tuning in. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday evening and excited to bring you some Bean Ballers baseball as Decatur back here for the third and final time this season. And Decatur, only 2 games left on its inaugural season. A season of ups and downs, growing pains, a lot of camaraderie between the players, who have several of which have played a full season, but several new faces as well have only been with the Bean Ballers for a short bit of time. But nonetheless, they're all here in Marion as Decatur takes on the Thrillville Thrillbillies. Both teams have been eliminated from playoff contention. Nobody is really... This game really doesn't mean anything in terms of playoffs, but it's still just another chance to win. The Bean Ballers come in losers in 2 straight. Meanwhile, the Thrillbillies have lost 4 straight. And it's also a decisive game in the season series, as either team has won a game so far, and now it's time for round 3.
Well, that's what you're playing for. I wouldn't say there's nothing to play for. It's game 3. Each team's taken one. Thrillville took the one back in May. Then Decatur, a couple of weeks ago, came in here and won 15-9 over the Thrillbillies. And really also for Decatur, you're trying to get that 10th win in the second half to have more wins in the second half than you did the first half as well. If you can win these final 2 games, you can hit the 20-win threshold in your inaugural season. And while you just haven't played consistent baseball, you got 2 chances left to show out, play some ball with the boys before you get some much-needed time off, before everyone kind of disperses and goes back to their respective schools.
Yeah, so Decatur and Thrillville both near the bottom in their respective divisions. In the South Division of the Western Conference, the Thrillbillies are in 4th place. In the second half, Cape Catfish have won both the first and second half championships, so the second place O'Fallon Hoots clinched it. They now have a 17-10 record, and Jackson Rockabilly's right behind them at 14-12. Meanwhile, Thrillville is 10-16. Alton is 4-23. And in the Central, the Bean Ballers at the bottom, 9-19. Du Bois County Bombers right above them, 9-18. Terre Haute Rex and Danville Dans duking it out at the top. The Rex are 17-11. Dans are 15-13. And should the Rex hold on, right now Terre Haute is playing at home against the Kokomo Creek Chubs. And the Rex currently lead 5-1 in the top of the 4th. Should Terre Haute hold on, it would clinch the second half championship, go on to face Du Bois County, and it would eliminate Danville. So Danville's going to need 2 wins and 2 Terre Haute losses in these next 2 games to keep things going. But meanwhile, we'll give you the lineups tonight. First for Decatur, who are in its lime green Soy City uniforms with navy blue numbers, navy blue letters across the front, gray pants, navy blue hats with a green panel out in front and the Bear logo on it. And for Decatur, looking to snap a 2-game skid, Charlie Linderman leads off and plays shortstop. Chase Weiss at third hits second. Will Applegate at second hits third. The cleanup man tonight is Brady Grabowski in left field. Gage Reynolds hits fifth and is the backstop. Noah Delgado hitting sixth is in right field. Hampton Petska at first in the 7 spot. Jackson Newton hits eighth and is in center field. And the designated hitter making a return to the lineup is C.J. Scheffel. Once again, that's Linderman, Weiss, Applegate, Grabowski, Reynolds, Delgado, Petska, Newton, Scheffel. And the right-hander Luke Bonstetter is on the mound for the Bean Ballers. Once again, looking to get their first win this week. Looking to snap a 2-game skid. First win since last Sunday back over in Clinton. Took down the Lumber Kings 8-4, but since then, a pair of losses. And meanwhile, on the other side for Thrillville, we'll give you their lineup as well. Mark Nowak leads off. He's in right field. Hayden Bernruder in left field. The corner outfielders at 1 and 2. Riley Ifrig, the first baseman, hits third. Pierce Bowerly, the third baseman, hits fourth. Hayden Rawls, the catcher, hits fifth. Jarius Atkinson right behind him is the designated hitter, hitting sixth. The center fielder's Nathan Jessup hitting seventh. Joe Horatio at short hits eighth. And Christoph Alexander, the second baseman, at the Keystone, rounds out the order, hitting ninth. Once again, that's Nowak, Bernruder, Ifrig, Bowerly, Rawls, Atkinson, Jessup, Ratio, and Alexander. And Truman, if the last 2 meetings between these two teams have been any indicator for what's in store for today, we expect to say these names an awful lot of times as both teams went through the lineup several times, shootouts in both games, and very lengthy marathon-like games as well.
Well, the first matchup took 3.5 hours, the second one 3 hours and 45 minutes, and for it's maybe on both pitchers, Ayala and Bonster, just to throw strikes and see what happens. I mean, neither of these defenses are particularly good, both bottom half of the Prospect League. Decatur comes in the 14th best defense, and then Thrillville the 3rd worst defense. So, it'll be shaky defense behind them, but I think you just got to throw strikes, and especially if you're Ayala with some of these guys in this Decatur order. I mean, the top 5, 6 even with Delgado, but it's that bottom 3 I want to watch for. If Decatur can get some production out of Petska, Newton, and Scheffel, that's going to give their top of the order a chance to produce some runs and to win this game. As for Bonstetter, when you're looking at this Thrillville lineup, really, I think it's the heart of the order. Bernruder, Ifrig, Bowerly, and Rawls are the 4 hitters that, you gotta pitch to them. You gotta really pitch, make them think, make them work, change eye level, change location, inside out, change speeds. But those are the 4 I'm looking at in the Thrillville order.
Yeah, so once again, the last meeting between these two teams went over 3 hours, over 3.5 hours, 3 hours and 40 minutes. And the Bean Ballers ended up on the right side of that one, a victory 15-9 right here at Mtn Dew Park back in mid-July. It was July 16th, 15-9. Decatur put together 15 hits as well and also drew their fair share of walks. Rather drew 15 walks, 11 hits on the day, but Decatur, that was back-to-back victories, and things were looking up at that point. The Bean Ballers had won 2 straight, still looking for their first 3-game consecutive win streak of the season. And everyone else in the division back on July 16th, the Terre Haute Rex, Danville Dans, Du Bois County Bombers, and the Springfield Lucky Horseshoes all lost that day. So Decatur pulled within 4.5 games of Terre Haute, and things were really looking up. And then the next day, Decatur loses at home against the Illinois Valley Pistol Shrimp. They go on to lose the next 2 as well, and that really put an end to the love story that was the Bean Ballers' playoff chances. But nonetheless, Decatur back here. No chance to play spoiler. Both of these teams are not in the postseason, but you're facing a Thrillbillies team that is a very capable offense. They're 4th highest in batting average in the Prospect League at .294. And they've been middle of the pack with walks, so Bonstetter won't necessarily need to completely focus on limiting the walks. They're just 12th of 20. That's the reason, partly why they're just 9th of 20 in on-base percentage compared to the 4th they are in batting average. But this is a team that scores the 6th most runs per game, and it's especially been high in July. The Thrillbillies scored 7 runs per game in July. They've scored 8.4 7 per game in June. They've scored 8.4 in July, and it's very interesting. It seems that when it rains, it pours for this team. They've scored nearly 15 runs per game in victories in the month of July, and when they lose, it's fewer than 4 runs. So a big discrepancy in the run column, wins to losses, and the Bean Ballers are hoping to hold the Thrillbillies to a low number because that typically results in a loss.
Well, and again, it all starts with Bonstetter on the mound, and his command has been shaky. He has not been good in the month of July. His ERA is well over 12 in the month. He's 0-3. He's only struck out 10 hitters, walked 17. He's a 2.5 whip, and so I think it starts with him. How much you can get out of Bonstetter before you have to turn it over to the likes of Adam Cooper, possibly out of the bullpen for Decatur. It all depends on his shoulders, but I think on offensively for Decatur, it starts with being aggressive. You really just got, put in the woodshed last night against Burlington. You just let Blake Gasky go to work, and everyone was kind of passive and not ambushing anything. And if Ayala's going to try to get the fastball across early, I'm looking to hammer it and shoot for these gaps. Decatur, 59 extra base hits in the month of July. That is 25 more than they had in the month of June. So they've done well when they've been getting good barrel, good contact on the ball, but it all starts, I think, with Bonstetter on the mound. He's got to limit the walks because even though a team that necessarily doesn't walk a lot, if it's 4 uncompetitive pitches outside the zone, anyone can take that for ball 4, and we've seen that plenty of times this year. So even though Thrillville doesn't necessarily win via the walk, hey, they're still a patient team that also doesn't strike out a whole bunch, so they're going to look to put the ball in play. Defense better be ready, but it all starts with Bonstetter.
Thrillville won Game 1 in this series back on May 28th, just the 3rd game of the season, 9-5. The Bean Ballers took Game 2. Who wins Game 3? We got first pitch coming up when we come back between the Thrillville Thrillbillies and your Decatur Bean Ballers. It's the 6'2" Elkhorn, Nebraska native Ben Ayala on the mound for the Thrillville Thrillbillies. Ayala comes in with a 3.77, very respectable ERA on the season. He's 1-1 in 5 appearances. This is the fourth start of the year for Ayala. Overall, he sprinkled 14 1/3 innings pitched, and it's really been the hits more than the walks that has gotten to him. Ayala's only given up 7 free passes, struck out 12, but given up 15 hits, yet to concede a long ball, but he has given up 14 runs and really sort of been taxed by his defenses. He's given up 14 runs, only 6 of which have been earned, so a lot of those runs have been unearned and just because of faulty defensive play, but this has been a pitching staff overall for Thrillville that has really struggled all year. They have the second highest ERA in the Prospect League at 8.26. Opponents are hitting .293 against them, which is the 4th highest batting average against in the Prospect League, and they're just one of 3 teams league-wide with a whip over 2. The Alton River Dragons at 2.37, Springfield at 2.07, and in third place, Thrillville at 2.02, so a lot of walks and hits for opponents, and Ayala's looking to limit that tonight.
Well, yeah, he's coming off a start against the O'Fallon Hoots back on July 28th this week in Game 2 of the doubleheader. Gave up 500 runs on 2 hits and 2 1/3 innings. He's looking to replicate his best start of the year, though. It came here at home back on July 15th against the Du Bois County Bombers. 5 shutout innings. Only walked 2, struck out 3. He's not a high strikeout guy, but he's just going to pound the strike zone. It's a heavy pitch mix. 7 pitches he could throw out there tonight. So the Bean Ballers got to be ready. That's why anything in the strike zone, don't be afraid to swing early in counts and ambush something and get him out of his rhythm.
Charlie Linderman, right on right, leadoff matchup. Ayala from the windup, first pitch. Linderman swings and misses, 0-1. And we're underway here down in Marion, 7:08 first pitch. Ayala working from the windup. 0-1 pitch. Taken inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Now the count to Linderman, who's making another start. This is his 7th consecutive start at the plate. Comes in hitting just 125. Swings at the next pitch on a bounce, fielded by Ratio, and it gets back by him into center field. Tried to field it. Got an in-between hop. It bounced off his glove into center, and it's going to be the first error on the Thrillbillies. They're a team that coming in, Thrillville's team fielding percentage is just .941, and first batter of the game, there's error number 1.
Yeah, this one eats him up right there in short from Ratio. He kind of backs up on it. You got to go attack that ball. It was a nice hop that he got, but he just let it eat him up and hit off the end of his glove.
First pitch, Chase Weiss swings at, lofts it off to the right. Ifrigan foul ground is under it and makes the catch for out number 1. So after the first base run of the game, Bean Ballers make their first out. And that'll bring Will Applegate to the plate, 1-on-1 out.
Yeah, I don't hate that swing. Again, I said I think the Bean Ballers need to be swinging early in counts, but you got to be on time with it. First pitch, Linderman swung at. He was late on the fastball. Now Weiss, that one just eats him up, and he gets under it. Pops it up into foul ground. That's why you got to utilize the on-deck circle. It's not just a place to look good before you head to the plate, but get your timing down. That way, if you get a fastball in the middle of the plate, you can ambush something in the gap.
Applegate went 1 for 3 with a walk yesterday. Takes the first pitch away for ball 1. And hits came at a premium for the Bean Ballers in Burlington. Only 4 hits on the day. Just 1 above a season low. 1-0 pitch. Applegate takes outside. It's now 2 balls and no strikes. That season low came last Thursday, a week from yesterday, at the Jackson Rockabillies. Just 3 hits for Decatur. But yesterday's run total, just 1, tied a season low in that category as well. Yet to be shut out are the Bean Ballers. 2-0 pitch. Applegate lines it sharply. It's into right field for a base hit. Linderman will stop at second. Applegate to first as the throw comes in from Nowak. And the Bean Ballers have their first hit.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Early in counts, you getting yourself in a good hitter's count. That's just a fastball right down the middle. Applegate an easy swing. Seems like guys are having success at the plate when it just looks easy out there for them. That was an easy swing, and it's your first hit of the night. And now you have a run-scoring opportunity for the middle of this order.
Applegate certainly seeing the ball well. Came in hitting .321, the leading hitter for the Bean Ballers, and he's added to his average with that. Base hit number 27 on the year. That'll make way for the former Thrillbilly, Brady Grabowski. First pitch, Grabowski takes a slider in the zone for strike one. Infield shaded heavily to the pull side. Alexander at second, just to the right of the bag, holding on Linderman. 0-1. Grabowski takes a fastball inside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Grabowski yesterday 0 for 3. Looking for his first hit and his first at-bat. Bean Ballers have a man in scoring position. 1-1 pitch. Clubbed out to left. On the run is Bernruder. He makes the catch. Grabowski's retired. Both runners retreat back to their bases. And there's 2 away now here on the top of the first.
He gets the barrel in this one. He's out in front of an off-speed pitch, and he's out on that front leg, and so he doesn't stride through it. He just kind of loops it in the air to left, and it's an easy ball for Bernruder to run under. If he waits back a little bit and tries to shoot it to right center, I think he has more success, but just what they call very early on that swing timing.
That'll bring up Gage Reynolds, 0 for 3 yesterday himself. Takes the first pitch on the inside corner for strike one. Reynolds has become an everyday starter for Decatur and has reaped the benefits of it. Average up to 273 on the season despite that 0 for 3 performance yesterday. 0-1 pitch. Chopped on the ground, right side, Ifrig fields, spins, flip to Ayala covering the bag, and the side is retired. Bean Ballers leave 2. They get a hit, another error in the field for the Thrillbillies, but no runs. Still scoreless as we head to the bottom of the first. Luke Bonstetter makes his 7th start for the Decatur Bean Ballers. Comes in with an 0-3 record, looking for his first win. He does have a save, though, back on June 18th against the Terre Haute Rex. But so far in the month of July, Bonstetter has struggled. Overall, his ERA is up to 8.78. But here in the month of July, after his last outing against the Jackson Rockabillies, it's inflated to 12.27 after Bonstetter's ERA was just 1.08 in the month of June. And all 3 of those losses have come in this month of July, one of which was his last outing against the Jackson Rockabillies. He's facing a different type of Billy, the Thrillville Thrillbillies, as Mark Nowak into the right-handed batter's box. First pitch from Bonstetter. Watches a fastball on the outside corner, 0-1. Defense behind Bonstetter. Petska at first, Applegate at second, Linderman at short, Weiss at third. 0-1 pitch. At the knees for strike 2, rinse and repeat. Hit the same spot again, it's 0-2. Reynolds is the backstop tonight. Meanwhile, Noah Delgado, Jackson Newton, Brady Grabowski right to left in the outfield. 0-2 pitch. Just off the plate, 1-2. And in his last outing against the Jackson Rockabillies, Bonstetter pitched into the 5th. He didn't record an out in the 5th, only 4 innings pitched, but could not record a strikeout. 1-2's in the dirt, slider away. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. And Bean Ballers, as a pitching staff, did not record a strikeout in Jackson either. Looking for his first one to the first hitter. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Slider away. Down on strikes is Nowak. First strikeout victim of Bonstetter, and there's 1 away in the bottom of the first.
That's a nice pitch, and like you said, he didn't have any of those down in Jackson. He's really struggled on the road, has Bonstetter. That's just his 6th strikeout on the road, and now 13 innings pitched. So the road has been a problem for him, but hey, getting that leadoff out is always important.
First pitch hit on the ground to Applegate, to first for the out, to retire Hayden Bernreuter, the left fielder. And quickly 2 outs for Luke Bonstetter, just 6 pitches into the game. That'll bring up Riley Ifrig. And Bonstetter, not a big strikeout guy. Anyway, 26 2/3 innings pitched coming in. He's only punched out 16 in his last 3 outings, which have stretched 7 innings in total. He's only punched out 2. Ifrig hitting from the left side. First pitch. He takes a strike on the outside corner. Bonstetter working from the windup, hugging the first base side of the rubber. 0-1 pitch. Inside on a slider, 1 ball and 1 strike. Ifrig comes in hitting .387 as he takes inside. It's ball 2. It's the most of active Thrillbillies on the roster. Frederick Ragsdale was hitting .433 before he left the team after the first half. 2-1 pitch. Popped up. Off to the left in foul ground. Weiss and Linderman are both giving chase. Linderman calls off Weiss, and the shortstop makes the catch to retire the side. Thrillbillies go 1-2-3. Bonstetter gets a punch out and a clean 0 on the board. Scoreless as we head to the second inning here at Mtn Dew Park. After, as Truman Greasel would say, the fastest inning we've ever had between these two teams. We're into the second inning. Bean Ballers and Thrillbillies down here in Thrillville, Marion, Illinois. And into the second, Noah Delgado, Hampton Petska, 6-7-8 due up for Decatur to face the starter, Ben Ayala, on the mound for his second inning of work. And combined, the teams only sent 8 men to the plate, 5 for the Bean Ballers, 3 for the Thrillbillies. A 1-2-3 inning for Luke Bonstetter on the mound, and now his team looks to get him some run support.
Well, again, I mentioned in the open, it's going to be the bottom of the lineup. Can they come through? Petska, Newton, and Scheffel, who are due up second and third, and then possibly fourth in this inning. Can those 3 do anything to help the top of the lineup? Because you need to be hitting 1 through 9, but the guys in the bottom of the lineup just as important as the guys at the top.
Noah Delgado hitting .250, 1 in every 4 on the season. Takes a changeup outside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Delgado, a native of north side of Chicago. Spent last year at St. Leo's University in Florida. 1-0 pitch. Slider drops in for strike one. It's 1-1. And Petska on deck was the only one to provide run support yesterday. A solo shot was Decatur's only run. 1-1 pitch. Slapped foul off to the left. Out of play. 1-2 now the count to Delgado. Delgado got the start in right field yesterday. And overall, he was 0 for 4. 1-2 incoming. Here it is. Slider poked foul off to the right. Delgado fights off a pitch inside. It's still 1-2. Decatur has the only hit so far today, and Will Applegate single. The Thrillbillies have already made an error. It was the first batter of the game. Charlie Linderman, a ground ball off the glove of Joe Horatio. This one's in the direction of Horatio. He fields it cleanly. Toss to first is high. It pulls Ifrig off the bag for a moment, but he gets back in time as it was sharply hit, and there's out number one.
Yeah, this time Horatio does a better job of really chesting up this baseball, but this time he makes the mistake standing straight up. Stay low through your throw as any fielder. If you stand straight up, that slows your arm down, has a chance to airmail it, but Ifrig, a nice job, a veteran first baseman over there, 6'3", used that long wingspan that he has.
First pitch to Hampton Petska. Slider on the outside corner, 0-1. Petska's fourth hit with the Bean Ballers came yesterday. His first home run, second extra base hit, and 2 of those 4 hits came right here in Thrillville. 0-1 pitch, pokes it over the head of Bowerly at third and into left field. Petska might be thinking too. Bernruder to pick it up. The throw comes in, but Petska slides in safely with a double. And he continues to hit well here at Mtn Dew Park. He probably wishes he played here every day. Bean Ballers have a guy in scoring position with 1 out in the top of the second.
That's a slider that just gets out in front, but he gets the barrel to it and just pokes it over the head of the third baseman. It's a nice job from Petska. That was the same pitch he hit for a long ball yesterday, the off speed. And now you have a man in scoring position for Decatur. Now here's Newton and Scheffel. Can you find the game's first run? Give Luke Bonstetter the lead.
Newton making his second straight start in center field. Ayala looks at Petska, another look back to second, and takes a check now. Throws it to Horatio, who's standing all the way at shortstop, wasn't even covering the bag. But Petska nonetheless needs to trot back. And Newton comes in, hitting just .222. Nearly had a double yesterday, just foul down the right field line. Still got a singling at bat. Takes a ball inside. It's 1-0. His best game this year with Decatur came back on Saturday against the Du Bois County Bombers. Went 2 for 2, a pair of singles and a pair of walks. And led off in Clinton the following day. 1-0 pitch. Fastball on the outside corner, 1-1. Newton will play his baseball next season at Illinois Valley College. Got a 1-1 count, 1 out, runner on in scoring position. Here's the 1-1. Downstairs, ball 2. Bean Ballers have C.J. Scheffel rounding out the order on deck. Should anyone else reach, Charlie Linderman, top of the order, would come up. Ayala working from the stretch. Time is called, a pitch clock violation. It's now 3 balls and 1 strike, and Newton's just a ball away from drawing a walk. He has as many walks as he has strikeouts this season, 8 each. So he has been a tough guy to strike out. He's got a 3-1 count. Ayala deals. On the outside corner, 3 balls and 2 strikes now.
It's been a nice job from Hampton Petska. He's no threat to steal, but he's at least getting in the head of Ayala, who now just needs to bear down and get Newton. That way you don't put a second runner on for the second consecutive inning.
Petska yet to attempt a stolen base. Newton swings and tips it into the glove of Rawls. Strike 3, and there's the first punch out of the day for Ayala. That'll bring up C.J. Scheffel with a runner on scoring position and 2 out.
Yeah, the real problem with Jackson Newton is sometimes he gets way out on that front foot, opens up his body. If he would just stay close and stay through a ball, he tries to just pull everything, and that's a pitch, fastball middle away. He needs to learn to go to left center field. If he can expand his game besides just seeing a third of the field, he can be a really good hitter, but he's just out in front trying to pull that ball, and he's going to need an oar to hit that.
Scheffel to the plate. So far this season, he's only had 10 at-bats, making just his 3rd start as he fouls one back, 0-1. But he has had some success recently. Scheffel, his last appearance for Decatur, had an RBI single against the O'Fallon Hoots. Also had an RBI single the day before against the Springfield Lucky Horseshoes. His first hit of the year comes in hitting 200. 0-1 pitch. Scheffel takes a fastball outside. It's 1-1. Springfield, Illinois native, veteran of the Prospect League, spent last season with the Springfield Lucky Horseshoes alongside Charlie Linderman, Chase Weiss, Jackson Snitko. The 1-1 to the former Horseshoe. Flared down the left field line. It falls, and it's down for a base hit into the corner. Petska's around third. He'll score. C.J. Scheffel, an RBI double, and the Bean Ballers strike first, 1-0 Decatur.
That's where Scheffel's gone a lot now. 2 of his 3 hits have gone the opposite way, and this is just a fastball up that nice little inside-out swing and kisses it down the left field line. And how about that? Bottom of the order, 2 doubles from your 7 and 9 hole hitters, and you're on the board first.
Scheffel on second. It's now Charlie Linderman as a pair of doubles in this inning. 3 hits for Decatur on the day. And Decatur leads 1-0. Linderman to the plate. Reached on an error to lead off. Was stranded at first, or rather at second, when the inning ended. Hopes not to strand Scheffel. Check swing, no swing. 1 ball and no strikes now, the count to Linderman. And for Scheffel, that's RBI number 3 on base hit number 3. First extra base hit of the year. 1-0 pitches in the dirt, 2-0. The swings in batting practice for Scheffel of late have certainly looked a lot better. He's really improved this season despite minimal playing time. Chase Weiss on deck. And there's a pickoff throw back to second. Scheffel dives back in time ahead of the tag from Alexander. Bean Ballers up 1-0. Early going here. Lights just barely on. The sun hasn't quite set. Another pickoff throw. Scheffel back in time yet again.
Yeah, it seems like AL is not on the same page with his middle infielders. He's gone with a jump turn, so you have to throw when you jump turn. If you go with the chair move, the inside move, you don't have to throw it, but he's wanting to pick over. His middle infielders are not.
2-0's fouled back into the screen. It's now 2-1, the count to Linderman.
Sometimes you see this, you'll see kind of the design play where the catcher drops his glove when the second baseman or shortstop breaks to the bag, and that's when the pitcher turns and fires. But I think this is just Ayala trying to see if he could pick a guy off without having the same communication, good comms.
The 2-1, inside ball 3. And it's interesting. We had zeros for both teams in the first inning. The first 2 meetings between these 2 teams, a combined 8 runs were scored in the 2 first innings. So scoreless after the first, but Decatur's tacked on as the 3-1's at the knees for strike 2 to Linderman. Full count, 2 outs to the Bean Ballers' leadoff hitter. Linderman himself has just one extra base hit on the year. The ball gets by Rawls. It's ball 4 in the dirt. Scheffel will get another 90 feet. And Linderman to first. Now men at the corners with 2 away. Chase Weiss to the plate for the Bean Ballers.
Yeah, patient at bat from Linderman. It gets Weiss a chance to hit here in the second, and he has a chance to do some real damage. That was a patient at bat from Linderman. He fouled off a couple pitches, but saw the ball down. That's where Allen's been missing a lot. It's been missing a lot low, and Bean Ballers aren't chasing.
Chase Weiss is chasing his first hit of the game. Popped out foul his first time up. Chops this one on the ground to Ratio. Fields it. Gets it out of his glove. Throw to first. Nice dig at first by Ifrig to retire the side, but a pair of hits and a walk warrants a run for the Bean Ballers. 1-0 Decatur after the bottom of the, or rather after the top of the second. Bottom 2 here in Thrillville. The Thrillbillies and Bean Ballers do battle on the penultimate day of the Prospect League season. And Luke Bonstetter gets the heart of the order. Pierce Bowerly, Hayden Rawls, and Jarius Atkinson, 4-5-6, due up after Bonstetter pitched a 1-2-3 first. Got a strikeout, ground out, and pop out. But it's Bowerly to the plate, whose debut with Thrillville came against the Bean Ballers back on July 16th. He launched a 2-run home run in his first at-bat, and he blisters one past Linderman and into left field to break up the perfect game, and the Thrillbillies have their first base runner.
That's an easy piece of hitting from Bowerly. It's a fastball middle. Just jumps on a mistake. Bonstetter trying to get the fastball across for strike one. Bowerly having none of it. There's the Thrillbillies' first hit, and they've really been hitting it well in the month of July. They're averaging just shy of 10 hits per game in the month. They're hitting 300 here at home. The offense has been red hot.
A guy hitting 300 on the season, Hayden Rawls, takes a pitch outside for ball 1. Rawls making his 41st start of the season. Did not appear last time against Decatur. It's 1-0. Takes a pitch outside now quickly. 2 balls and no strikes. Both pitches have missed away to Rawls. Meanwhile, Bowerly came in through his first 50 at-bats. He was hitting .380. 4 long balls, 2 doubles. Has a single there. Pitch below the knees. Ball 3 to Rawls. Infield shaded slightly to the pull side. 3-0 pitch. Downstairs ball 4. And after the single to Bowerly on the first pitch, Rawls draws a 4-pitch walk.
Yeah, now you get Bonstetter out into the stretch if you're Thrillville. It's 4 straight misses down and away. He's going to have to make the adjustment here quickly because gives up the hit, now the walk. Now one big hit could tie this game up. You've still got nobody out.
Jarius Atkinson to the plate, hitting .268 through his first 23 games. Hitting from the left side, takes a ball upstairs, 1 ball and no strikes. Now to the Danville, Illinois native. Not playing with the Dans, playing with the Thrillbillies this summer. 1-0 pitch. At the knees for strike 1. Atkinson, one of several Thrillbillies who played their school baseball this past year at John A. Logan, as he swings and misses at the 1-1. 1 ball and 2 strikes, a fastball. Dots the outside corner, swing and a miss. Other John A. Logan players, Christoph Alexander, the second baseman, Chase Niemeyer, another catcher, as this one's clubbed, tucked inside the first base line and into right field for a base hit. Bowerly's around to score. Rawls gets the wave as well. The throw comes in from Delgado. There's no play at the plate. And Jarius Atkinson has a 2-run double to take the lead for the Thrillbillies.
That guy had been incognito from the lineup for a couple of weeks. Now Atkinson comes through. This is a mistake and a mislocation from Bonstetter. Gage Reynolds is set up low and away. He misses up and in. It's an easy swing to the lefty. He just shoots this down the first base line. Petska can't react quick in time. It's a deep ballpark. 2 runs easily scored.
First pitch to Nathan Jessup is fouled off just above the screen, 0-1. And after a 1-2-3 first inning, the first 3 reach in the second, and 2 of them have already scored for the Thrillbillies. Jessup, the center fielder, comes in as he pops one. Another foul ball off to the right, 0-2 to the right-handed hitter. Comes in hitting just .222, 26th start of the season overall. Rather, 22nd start overall, 26th appearance for Jessup. 0-2 pitch. Upstairs, 1 ball and 2 strikes now the count. Jessup, the last time these two teams did battle, went 1 for 4 with a single and a walk. A couple of stolen bases, also scored a run as he flares another one foul. Still 1-2.
That's what we saw a lot of down in Jackson against the Rockabillies. They were just so tough with 2 strikes. It didn't matter, 0-2, 1-2. They fouled off so many pitches, it spoiled a lot of good ones, eventually worked walks or got hits from mistakes from Bonstetter.
Infield shaded heavily to the pull side. 1-2. Slapped on the ground. Linderman Fields can't go to second. He'll have to go to first for the out. As he looks Atkinson back, retires Jessup, and there is out number 1.
That was a nice pitch from Bonstetter. Low in the zone, reaching out is Jessup, and Linderman a nice job. He does the smart thing. He looks the runner back. That's what you got to do. You got to know there's a runner. But he just throws a nice strong throw across, and you get that first out. Now with 8-9 due up, see if Bonstetter can get these 2.
Joe Horatio to the plate, swings and misses at a fastball at the top of the zone. 0-1 now the count. Horatio making his first appearance against the Bean Ballers. Did not play either of the first 2 times. Slider outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. And he struggled at the plate. This is game 25 for him, hitting 146 on the season. Just 13 hits and 89 at-bats. 1-1 pitch. Fouled back into the screen, 1-2. Bean Ballers got the scoring started. A pair of doubles, Hampton Petska, and then C.J. Scheffel scored him on a double of his own. And then to start this inning, single walk, and then a 2-run double down the right field line for Jarius Atkinson. Make it a 2-1 ball game. 1-2's outside. It's now 2-2 to Ratio. Atkinson still standing on second, hoping Ratio can reel him in. Ratio does have 12 RBIs this season. Pops one up. Foul ground off to the right. Near the screen and running into the wall is Petska as the ball flies into the stands. Still a 2-2 count to Ratio, and his Achilles heel so far this season has been the strikeout. 89 at-bats for Ratio, 42 of which have been strikeouts. Looking to cut that down. Bonstetter looking for his second punch out. 2-2 pitch. He has it. Swing and a miss at a fastball upstairs. And ratios down on strikes. The second strikeout for Bonstetter, 2 away here in the bottom of the second.
That was a nice pitch from Bonstetter. He needed that too, because I'm sure he was thinking about that last start. But it's a nice pitch, gets ratio. Again, you said strikeouts have been his Achilles heel. He strikes out once again. He's just struggling to make contact that when it's not a hit, kind of a 3 true outcome. But now you get the second out facing the 9-hole hitter.
Christoph Alexander takes a ball low and away on a slider, 1-0. Now the count to Alexander. Comes in hitting .279 through just 68 at-bats. Strikeouts sometimes an issue for him, 17 times, but not quite 42 punch-outs on the year. As the 1-0 is another slider away, 2-0. He's another member for the John A. Logan squad who plays his summer baseball this summer with the Thrillbillies, originally from Cleveland. Weiss hugging the line at third. 2-0 is downstairs, 3 balls and no strikes. Alexander as well is making his first appearance against the Bean Ballers. Takes a strike right down Broadway. It's now 3-1 the count. Bonstetter deals. Another strike on the outside corner, 3-2. Big hole right side, payoff pitch, swung on and missed. Bonstetter gets a pair of strikeouts to end the inning, but the damage is done. A 2-run double for Jarius Atkinson. 2-1 Thrillbillies as we head to the third.
Three, 4, 5 due up for your Bean Ballers here in their half of the third. Both teams scored in the second. Bean Ballers plated a run first on a C.J. Scheffel RBI double, but the Thrillville Thrillbillies offense came alive against Luke Bonstetter, Jarius Atkinson. A 2-run double of his own. We're 2-1. Headed to the third, but it's Will Applegate, Brady Grabowski, and Gage Reynolds as yet again here in this inaugural season. The Bean Ballers chase an early deficit.
Yeah, Decatur finally got a run in the second. Relatively low scoring for these two teams' standards, especially their standards against each other. But Thrillbillies respond right back with the 2-run double of their own, and it's now a 2-1 ball game. Decatur has more work to do.
Applegate picked up his 27th hit in the first against Ben Ayala. Second time he gets to face the right-hander. First pitch of the third. Taken at the knees for a strike. Applegate's now reached safely in 8 of his last 9 games. The 0-1 from Ayala. Off the plate, 1 ball, 1 strike. The only matchup Applegate played previously against the Thrillbillies went 2 for 3 with 2 runs batted in and also drew a couple of walks. The 1-1 pitch. Lined in the air, right center field. This is going to be down for a hit. Cut off by Nowak. And this will hold Applegate to his second single of the night. But he's got yet another multi-hit game against the Thrillvillies.
Yeah, similar spot for Applegate as his first hit. This one's a little further away from him, but he reaches out, gets the barrel to it. He's swinging with his arms completely extended, so doesn't get a lot of power on it, but plenty of the barrel to get it over the head of Alexander into right center, and he has his second hit of the day.
It's his 8th multi-hit game of the summer. Leadoff man on for the Bean Ballers. Now for Brady Grabowski. First pitch from Ayala. Slider just off the outside part of the plate for ball 1. Grabowski had a little 3-game hit streak snapped last night in the hitless performance against Burlington. This is the 1-0. Off the end of the bat, dribbled foul just outside of first. Now 1 ball, 1 strike on the 6'3" Troy, Illinois native. Representing the Murray State Racers is Grabowski, where he spent the past 3 seasons of his collegiate baseball career. Trying to put a good note on the end of his summer before he heads back. 1-1 pitch. Grounded up the middle weakly. Ratio has it. Flips to second for 1. Over to first. Not in time. The throw from Alexander pulled Ifrig off the bag. And so it's just a fielder's choice to cut down the lead runner. Applegate at second.
Yeah, this one takes several hops, and this turf isn't going to slow down balls too much, but it slows it down a little bit, and it's not hit too sharply to Ratio as Grabowski drove it into the ground. So running hard, there wasn't really much chance to get him at first nonetheless, but the throw from Alexander's a little high, and it did pull Ifrig off the bag. Either way, replace the runner at first, and there's the first out.
First pitch to Gage Reynolds is high and tight for ball 1 from Ayala. Ayala played with the Missouri Western State Griffins this past spring. It's his 3rd school in his 4 years of collegiate baseball. Started at Creighton, then 2 years at Southeastern Community College. The 1-0 in the dirt, off the backhanded glove of Rawls, and it scoots by him. Grabowski motors on to second, and the Bean Ballers have the tying run in scoring position.
Yeah, it's now a few times that we've seen Ayala spike pitches. He has a 7-pitch mix per sources, a few variations of fastballs, a knuckle curve, a slider, splitter, some other stuff in there, but sometimes get a little too cute with your pitch mix and you end up just missing your spots, and that one spiked into the ground. Rawls couldn't handle it.
Hitters count 2-0 to Reynolds. Ayala deals upstairs, and it's 3 balls, no strikes on the Bean Ballers catcher, who had his 10-game on-base streak snapped last night against the Bees. He's just 1 for 7 with a walk this week in the final week of this 2026 Prospect League season. He's got 2 games left to redeem himself. A 3-0 takes a fastball for a strike, and it's 3-1. A 3-1 pitch, line to the left side, but foul, about 5 feet outside the foul line. It's full count, 3-2. Reynolds had a big day. The last time the Bean Ballers were here in Thrillville, he wasn't originally scheduled to play, but he came in after Jackson Miller had to leave the game early. And he ended up going 2 for 4 with a double and a pair of RBIs in that victory for the Bean Ballers. 3-2, 1 out, runner at second. Bean Ballers down 2-1. Ayala from the first base side of the rubber. He deals. Lined again sharply, but well foul. And we'll do it again, 3-2.
Yeah, Ayala's got to be careful. Might want to find a different spot rather than trying to jam Reynolds in, because he's turning on these baseballs and blasting them just foul down the line. We've seen Decatur pick on Bernruder several times in left field with doubles from Scheffel and Petska last inning. Might want to try pitching Reynolds away.
Grabowski dancing off second. Another payoff pitch. Fouled back. Tried to fool him with a slider. Reynolds having none of it and spoils another pitch from Ayala. Noah Delgado still awaiting on deck. This is turning into quite the battle between Ayala and Gage Reynolds.
Yeah, and typically as pitcher throws more pitches and as the batter sees more pitches, the momentum shifts towards the batter.
8th pitch of the at-bat, swing and a miss. Blew the heater by him. Gets Reynolds out on his front foot, and he strikes out. Second strikeout of the night now for Ben Ayala.
And that's the easiest way to flip the script, is just to get that strikeout. This is a really good pitch to do it. Fastball upstairs that all Reynolds can do is chase, can't get a piece of it, and there's out number 2. Bean Ballers at risk of leaving Grabowski in scoring position.
Brings in Noah Delgado. 2 outs, still a man at second. Bean Ballers still trailing by a run here in the top of the third. Delgado grounded out to short his first time up in the second. First pitch, headed that way again. Ratio gloves right behind second. Throws across in time to get Delgado. And Joao Ratio throws out Delgado for the second time. Bean Ballers straight a man in scoring position. We're at the bottom of the third. Down here in Thrillville, and it's the Thrillbillies on top of your Bean Ballers. 2-1. Back here, bottom of the third, top of the lineup for the Thrillbillies against Luke Bonstetter. They played at 2 in the second. Now they're looking for more. Here up 2-1. It'll be Mark Nowak, Hayden Bernruder, and Riley Ifrig against Bonstetter. Second to last game of the season for both of these teams. The Thrillbillies will stay home and take on the Boys County Bombers tomorrow night. Meanwhile, the Bean Ballers are scheduled to play in Danville to conclude their year, trying to get some revenge on the Dans, but all they're focused on is getting a win here and winning this season series against the Thrillbillies. A rubber match between these two sides. Each team has taken 1 here in Thrillville. Now all the marbles here tonight.
Yeah, it was a clean first inning for Bonstetter. Second inning, he ran into trouble. A single and a walk to lead off, and then 2-run double.
First pitch to Mark Nowak is taken just below the zone for a ball to begin the third. He struck out swinging to lead off the game for Thrillville. The 1-0 swung on, fouled off, and it's 1-1. And that strikeout was a rarity for Nowak these last several games, as he had struck out 21 times in his first 16 games with the Thrillbillies, but he just struck out 4 times his last 8 games. He's really turned it around, and why he has a 10-game on-base streak going. And he's hit safely in 8 of the 10. So he's trying to extend that here in this at-bat. Patrick Morey, the manager for Thrillville in his 4th year, has slotted him into the leadoff spot to get him as many at-bats as possible. 1-1 from Bonstetter. Rolled over. Tough play at third from Weiss. He gloves on the backhand, fires it across, and it goes wide of first. It gets by Petska, but it bounces back quickly, and Gage Reynolds, who was backing up the play, tracks it down, so Nowak held just to first.
Yeah, this is a really tough play for Weiss. He needs to get around the ball as it's just blooped right down the line. A little cue shot, bounces a few times, and The one thing that he has to deal with is the bag, because he needs to get around it, make sure not to trip on it, but also not let the ball hit it. And it's a really awkward play for him and pulls the throw a little bit. Petska can't come up with it. Nonetheless, it would have likely been Nowak safe at first regardless.
He is given a hit on the play. It's his 29th of the season. Leadoff man on for the second consecutive inning. First pitch to Hayden Bernruder off the outer part of the plate for ball one. Bernruder grounded out to second his first time around at the plate. 1-0 from Bonstetter. Fastball off the plate again, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, Bonstetter started against the O'Fallon Hoots a couple Sundays ago. He pitched a 1-2-3 first, but then the Hoots batted around on him +1 in the second. So we saw a lot of batters after that first inning, hoping that it's just this second inning here and not signs of things to come for him.
2-0 hit in the air, but well foul. Backing out of play from Bernruder. Took a hearty hack on 2-0. Now 2-1. Hitting 297 on the season. One hit shy of 20. He's got 19 hits and now 65 at-bats on the season. Went 1 for 4 with an RBI double last time these two teams faced, as Bonstetter gives a check over at Nowak at first, but he's back in time safely. Nowak 5 for 6 stealing bases here this summer. The 2-1. Swung on, popped up, but again, well foul outside of third. And the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, as a team, the Thrillbillies don't steal a whole ton, just 118 stolen bases, 8th most middle of the pack in the Prospect League of the 20 teams, but they have the 4th fewest caught stealings. They've only been caught 20 times, and in the month of July, they are 50 for 53.
2-2 rolled on the ground to the right side, gloved by the second baseman Applegate. His only play will be to first, and it's in time to get Bernruder with Nowak advancing to second in the first out here in the third.
Yeah, this one's chopped right into the ground, tomahawk style for Bernruder, and Applegate gets over to it. Has no real chance to get Nowak. Does a good job of getting it to Petska for out number 1 as Nowak advances.
Now it's the red-hot bat in Riley Ifrig with an RBI opportunity. Ifrig just his 17th start. He's got 28 RBIs coming into this one. He's been an RBI machine. The first pitch is high and tight for ball 1. And he's mashed here inside Mtn Dew Ballpark. The Edwardsville, Illinois native hitting .433 inside the friendly confines. 13 hits and 30 at-bats. Popped out to short his first time up. 1-0. Swung on, laced up the alleyway in left center field. Ifrig continues to be an RBI machine. He's the second looking for 3. Bean Ballers struggling to get the ball in, and Ifrig's going to slide feet first into third with an RBI triple.
Yeah, Ifrig gets a fastball up and over the middle of the plate at the belt and blasts this one left center middle away and finds the deepest part of the park, tucks it into the corner in the left center alley. A long run for both Newton and Grabowski. By the time they get to it, they have no chance as Nowak scores easily, and Ifrig is into third with a stand-up triple.
Bonstetter back out of the windup. His first pitch off the plate to Pierce Bowerly for a ball. That triple for Ifrig is his second. Drives in his 29th as he extends his hitting streak now to 8 games. Runner third, 1 out. 3-1 Thrillbillies. 1-0 pitch to Bowerly. Curveball, never curved down. It stayed up, and it's 2-0. Bowerly singled and scored last inning, the first of 2 runs for Thrillville. It was his 20th hit of the summer. 2-0. Taken for a ball downstairs, and it's 3-0. Hayden Rawls on deck.
Yeah, as a team, the Thrillbillies came in with 17 triples, third most in the Prospect League, and you can see why. Very deep alleys here at Mtn Dew Park.
3-0. Taking all the way was Bowerly, and he takes strike 1. 3 balls and a strike to the Franklin, Ohio native. Extended his on-base streak to 15 games. 3-1, curveball at the knees, full count. And now during this 15-game on-base streak, he's hit safely in 13 of the 15. So a couple at-bats have gone differently. He could have a long hitting streak. Payoff pitch. Lined up the middle and on into center field. Ifrig will walk home as Pierce Bowerly comes through for the Thrillvillies. Now 4-1 on an RBI single.
Yet again, it's just sharp contact. Bonstetter leaving pitches over the middle of the plate. Leaving pitches near the top of the plate. Needs to stay lower in the zone if he wants to limit that sharp contact and get a few more ground balls. It's been a lot of line drives into the alleys, and the Thrillbillies have tacked on 4 in the last 2 innings.
RBI number 19 for Bowerly on his 7th multi-hit game. First pitch from Bonstetter, slider in the outside corner to Hayden Rawls for a strike. Rawls didn't see a strike his first at-bat. Took 4 straight balls and drew a walk last inning. The 0-1 at the knees. Quickly 0-2 now from Bonstetter. Bonstetter from the first base side of the rubber facing Rawls, hitting .318 on the summer. The 0-2 pitch, runner off to second, swing and a miss. The throw down, not going to be in time. It gets away from Applegate. Bowerly steals second while Rawls strikes out on 3 pitches.
Yeah, good pitch from Bonstetter. This one is low in the zone, and Rawls wants as much to not pop the ball up as he wants to at least make contact, and ends up just swinging over the top of it. And a good throw from Reynolds. Didn't really have much of a chance, but Applegate couldn't quite come up with it. And it's a stolen base for Bowerly.
First pitch to Jarius Atkinson is up and away for ball 1. Atkinson ripped a 2-run double down the right field line his first at-bat. He's got a man at second, 2 outs, 2 already home in the inning for Thrillville. The 1-0 pitch. Taken for a strike, fastball in the outside corner. It's Atkinson's 3rd double of the summer. It extended his on-base streak to 12 games. It's the 1-1. Curveball low, 2-1.
Yeah, so far this at-bat, it's been pitches low in the zone, and first 2 were away as Bonstetter doesn't want to go up and in the way he did to Atkinson the first time.
2-1 pitch, Bowerly to third, swing and a miss from Atkinson. The throw down from Reynolds, not in time. Bowerly sneaks the right foot in as Chase Weiss went for a tag on the hip.
Yeah, definitely an adjustment there from Bowerly as he was dead to rights. The throw down from Reynolds beat him there by a mile, and Gabe Arroyo's out to have a chat with the umpire about it, but the throw to Weiss, he caught it a little high, still had plenty of time to get the tag down, but he tries to tag the body instead of just putting it in front of the base and making sure there's no chance that Bowerly gets there, and because of it, Bowerly adjusts and then sneaks the leg in there as Weiss tags his torso.
2-2 is high and away to Atkinson, full count. Nathan Jessup on deck. Atkinson, the previous matchup, went 0 for 2 against Decatur. Full counts, fouled back, stays alive. Did draw 2 walks and got hit by a pitch, though, against the Bean Ballers. This is his first action since July 23rd. Over a week ago was the last time he had played before tonight. Another payoff pitch. Downstairs. Taken for ball 4, and it's a 2-out walk drawn for Jarius Atkinson.
Yeah, good at bat for Atkinson. Fouls off a few pitches, and sometimes that's the reason for the walk. Sometimes it's not just handing out 4-pitch, 5-pitch walks. It's long at bats where you can't find the zone a few too many times, and you end up losing him on a walk as Bonstetter has gotten bounced around a little bit. He's given up 5 hits and some sharp contact, so doesn't want to serve him a cookie and instead gives him the free pass.
First pitch is upstairs to Nathan Jessup for ball 1. He grounded out to short last inning. Jessup's got runner at the corners, 2 outs, 2 already home for Thrillville here in the bottom of the 3rd. It's 4-1. 1-0 from Bonstetter. Downstairs in the dirt, it skips off Gage Reynolds' glove all the way to the backstop. Pierce Bowerly trots home for the Thrillbillies' 5th run of the game. As Atkinson moves to second, it's 5-1 Thrillville.
Yeah, this isn't a slider. This is a fastball that Bonstetter just yanks on the mound, holds on to it too long, overcooks it into the dirt. And Reynolds, it's a lot harder to block a fastball than a slider or anything like that because you have a lot less time, and it ends up getting by him, and now a 5-1 lead.
2-0 to Jessup. Hit high in the air center field. Newton to his left, ranges over, and he makes the grab to retire the side. But the Thrillville Thrillbillies send 7 men to the plate. They get 3 runs on 3 hits in the inning. They strand a man, but they extend their lead. We're headed to the 4th. It's 5-1 Thrillville. Top of the 4th here in Thrillville. Bottom of the order due up for Decatur, 7, 8, 9, and they now trail by 4 runs. The Thrillbillies offense has been red hot in the month of July, and they're showing it here on the second to last day of the regular season. A 3-spot put up in the 3rd, and it's now a 4-run lead to work with for Ben Ayala.
Yeah, the Bean Ballers have been quiet, as it's pretty rare for the Thrillbillies to have only allowed just a run in the first 3 innings. As their ERA is very high for Prospect League standards. The Bean Ballers chasing 4 runs now.
First pitch of the 4th to Hampton Petska, backs him off the plate inside of the righty for ball 1. He doubled down the left field line and came around to score the Bean Ballers' only run in the 2nd, as they will still have yet to be shut out headed into the final day of the season. 1-0, swing and a miss, fastball away, got him. It's now 1-1. Thrillbillies ERA, though, as a team, is actually lowered here in the month of July. 7.5 in this month compared to where it was in June at 9.21. As the 1-1 waves over the top of a breaking ball, and Petska's down the count 1-2. Just too little too late for Thrillville, who's 10-16 in this second half. Hale out of the wind. The 1-2. High and tight to Petska. A little chin music. 2-2.
Yeah, Truman, you talked about it today. Bean Ballers are going to need production from the bottom of the order. Petska, Newton, Scheffel to come through. That's the only part of the order that's really come through so far.
2-2's popped up first base side. Ifra gives it a look, but it's back into the seats about 7 rows up.
And yesterday was also the only part of the order that got runs. Petska's solo shot yesterday, and today it's the doubles from himself and Scheffel that have brought in runs. So Bean Ballers certainly can thank their bottom of the order for keeping them in this one so far.
Well, before yesterday, Petska just played in 3 of the last 9 games. Now he's getting everyday playing time. Count still 2-2. No outs, nobody on here in the top of the 4th. And Al is going to step off and think about it once more. And we've got a pitch clock violation now on Al. So the count is full with Jackson Newton on deck. Payoff pitch. Upstairs, ball 4. And Hampton Petska continues to see it well against the Thrillbillies pitching. He's on for the 2nd time, this time via a walk.
Yeah, it gets a little gift from that pitch clock violation. That's the 2nd time that Ayala has been called for one, so clearly didn't quite learn his lesson the first time, but a good job laying off a few pitches. You talked about it in the open, Truman. Doesn't matter how hard you're struggling at the plate. There are some pitches that everyone in this prospect league is going to take, and Petska takes this one well upstairs for the free pass.
First pitch to Jackson Newton is off the plate to the lefty for ball one. Just Ayala's first walk, as he'd walked just 2 in his last start against the Hoots earlier this week. 1-0 to Newton. Inside of the lefty, now 2-0. Newton struck out swinging back in the second. He's come in hitting safely in 5 of his last 6 games. He's also reached in 9 of his 10 games that he's played in up to this point. A 2-0 pitch. Way away, and it's 3-0.
Yeah, yesterday against Burlington was what did in a lot of the Bean Ballers' hit streaks, on-base streaks. Gage Reynolds, Jackson Newton, is just a lot of Decatur went over, and they've already matched their hit total from yesterday in the first 3 innings.
3-0 pitch. Newton's taking all the way. He takes ball 4 low and away. Back-to-back walks given out by Ben Ayala to begin the Bean Ballers' 4th, and they have something brewing with C.J. Scheffel due up.
Yeah, Scheffel, if he could poke another ball down the left field line, he could possibly score 2 and bring the Bean Ballers back within 2, cut the lead in half. But nonetheless, no out, 2 on, and back-to-back free passes. We've seen time and time again, really everyone in this prospect league, whether it's the Cape Catfish or the Alton River Dragons, they can fall victim to the free pass bug and start handing them out to every guy who comes to the plate. So it'll be on Ayala to make an adjustment and start finding the zone again.
Mound visit done with as Hayden Rawls went out to chat with Ben Ayala. Scheffel, RBI double back in the second. Scored the Bean Ballers' only run up to this point. Has a chance now, 2 on, nobody out. Bowerly even with the bang at third, possibly playing for the bunt. First pitch from Ayala. Taken outside from Scheffel, 1-0. Now 6 straight misses from Ben Ayala. Scheffel's got 3 RBIs now on the year, trying to add to it. The 1-0. Downstairs and in, and it's 2-0. Certainly not the start that Ayala wanted, as he's walked 2 now in this game. That's been his season high. If he walks another, that would be a new season high in an outing. Two-0 pitch. Fastball on the outside corner. Finally finds the strike zone. It's 2-1.
Yeah, the Thrillbillies came in. They walked just 1 fewer batter than the Springfield Lucky Horseshoes. Overall, Thrillville has walked the 3rd most hitters and 2 free passes at risk of a 3rd in this inning.
2-1 pitch. Outside, 3-1. Missed with an off-speed pitch that time, did Ayala.
And there are times where it just starts with a full count that you lose, and that's what it was, and then a 4-pitch walk to Newton at risk of a 5-pitch walk to Scheffel.
Don't want to walk the bases loaded for the top of the lineup. Charlie Linderman on deck, and Scheffel's going to step out and think about this next pitch. At Mo West this past spring up in St. Joseph, Missouri, north of Kansas City, Ayala walked 20 hitters in his 18 appearances. Opponents hit 326 against him. He's lowered those numbers here this summer. Opponents just hitting 268 against the righty. But he's got quite the jam to get out of here in the 4th. Up 5-1. 3-1 offering home. Swing and a miss. Pulled the string on Scheffel, and the count goes full.
Yeah, really good pitch that just dips below the zone. Scheffel out in front on it. And there's strike 2. A good pitch to get back in the count. But you talked about Ayala. Walks haven't really been the issue for him, as he only handed out 7 in his first 5 appearances. At risk, once again, of 3 to start this inning.
Payoff pitch. Inside, ball 4. 3 consecutive walks to the bottom of the Bean Ballers order. Petska, Newton, and Scheffel. And now they're all loaded up with nobody out for Charlie Linderman.
Yeah, this is a very bold big league take from Scheffel. A fastball just hairs inside off the plate. And he takes it back to back free passes and Decatur brings the tying run to the plate.
And now out of the first base dugout, the mound visit coming from pitching coach Travis Hope, who played baseball at Berry College. He spent some time in the professional minor leagues. Played with the New York Mets organization, the Brooklyn Cyclones, and the St. Lucie Mets. Trying to calm down Ayala, who honestly, outside of the couple of doubles back in the second, while he hadn't faced or set down the Bean Ballers in order yet, he'd definitely been keeping them off balance, but here it was a leadoff walk to Hampton Petska, then 4 straight misses to Jackson Newton, and then a battle with C.J. Scheffel that he ultimately lost. And now he's got a pickle to get himself out of. Charlie Linderman, his 3rd time up, now facing Ayala, reached on an error to lead off the game and then walked back in the second. 4 walks given out from Ayala, a new season high. He's back into his windup, facing Linderman. Bases are full of ballers. First pitch. Swung on, fouled back and out of the stadium from Linderman. He was trying to ambush something, but it's 0-1. Linderman still looking for a hit in a game that wasn't Sunday against Clinton. All 3 of his hits this season came in that victory for Decatur. He went 3 for 5 with a double and a run batted in. If anything, Daniel, he's just trying to be productive here in this at-bat and cut into this deficit any way he can other than maybe a strikeout, an infield pop-up, or grounding into a double play.
Yeah, I think the latter of those 3 is definitely the one thing you want to avoid. It's okay to put the ball on the ground, but you want to put it not right at an infielder and don't hit it too sharply if you do so. Looking for a line drive that can score a run.
0-1, swung on, fouled back again. A fastball up, and it's 0-2 on Linderman. Linderman last summer with Springfield had 7 RBIs. He's got 2 so far. Ayala out of the one. The 0-2. Downstairs, 1-2.
Good take there from Linderman. Tries to get him on something tailing away from him. Doesn't bite on it after swinging at 2 high fastballs. Lowers the eye level. Seeing what he comes with here.
1-2 pitch. Downstairs, blocked by Rawls. Almost squirted through his legs, but he finds it. No advancement from any of the base runners. The count evens now to Linderman.
Has a fastball right at the ankles for Linderman. Another good take. Doesn't really need as much convincing because it looks like a ball the whole way, but nonetheless, he's worked his way back to an even count.
As a team, Thrillville pitching staff averaged 7 walks given out per game. The 2-2 incoming. Upstairs. Ayala frustrated with himself as the count has now gone full. Linderman's worked his way back after he was down 0-2. And now he's one mistake away from walking in the Bean Ballers' second run. Payoff pitch from the righty. Inside, Linderman backs off the plate as he takes ball 4. 4 consecutive walks to open the Decatur 4th. It's now 5-2.
And still nobody out, station to station for everyone as Petska comes in to score. Newton to third, Scheffel to second, Linderman to first. He'll get credited with the RBI, but still nobody out. And now Weiss is to the plate, but certainly the most dangerous bat in the Bean Ballers order. Applegate moves into the on-deck circle, and it becomes almost imminent that you'll have to face him.
First pitch to Weiss. Taken just above the belt for a ball. That's Charlie Linderman's 3rd RBI of the summer. Still nobody out in this inning. 5-2 Thrillville. The 1-0. Slider down and away, and it's 2-0. As Ayala just seems to have lost his way here in the 4th. Weiss, though, 0 for 2. He's got 11 runs batted on the season. Trying to add to that in a big way. Ball in the gap could possibly tie this one. 2-0 outside. 3-0. Will Applegate, aforementioned, is standing on the on-deck circle. The bullpen is certainly going for Thrillville Ayala walks this banner. You have to think that might be it for him. Out of the one, the 3-0. Fastball at the belt, 3-1. He's trying to extend his 4-game hitting streak to 5 after a 1-for-4 performance last night. The 3-1. Breaking ball catches the inside corner, full count.
Yeah, these are really two good pitches to graze the top of the zone and then graze the upper inside corner to fight back into the count. But you still need to find strike 3 or at least an out.
4th full count of the inning Ayala's had to deal with. The payoff pitch, swung on, fouled back by Weiss. Spoils a good pitch and stays alive. Weiss in his only matchup against Thrillville previous to this, he went 1-for-3 with an RBI and 2 walks drawn. Trying to be productive. Another payoff pitch, swing and a miss. Ayala blows the heater by him, draws a very gracious cheer out of the home crowd. He strikes out Weiss, and it's the first out in the Bean Ballers' 4th.
Yeah, this could be a turnaround. We'll see what happens with Applegate because he's already reached twice, has a pair of singles, and if he puts another into the outfield, it's possible to score. But a really good turning point for Ayala as he hopes to keep this at a 2-run, 3-run lead possibly.
First pitch to Applegate. Swing and a miss. Changeup got him for strike 1. Applegate 2-for-2 so far here tonight with 2 singles to right. He's now 4-for-5 on the year against the Thrillbillies pitching. Double play is in order to end the inning. Base is still loaded for Decatur. 1 run already home in the inning. The 0-1. Downstairs, 1-1.
Really nice block there by Rawls with the glove to backhand it, scoop it. As this is a fastball in the dirt that he somehow keeps in front of him and doesn't allow another runner to score.
Applegate's got 17 runs batted in on the season. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him to chase a changeup on the outer half, and it's 1-2.
It's a really good pitch. He's been working Applegate low or away or both. Just this changeup tails away from Applegate. Can't reach the bat out to it, and now he has to fight with 2 strikes.
All looking for back-to-back strikeouts. His 1-2. Grounded up the middle, backhanded. Alexander goes to second for 1, on to first, in time for 2. Somehow, someway, Ben Ayala gets out of it after 4 consecutive walks to open the 4th. A strikeout and a double play ball from the Bean Ballers. 2 and 3 hitters limit the damage to just 1. We're through 3.5 here in Thrillville. It's 5-2 Thrillbillies. New pitcher out of the bullpen for Decatur is Luke Bonstetter, done after just 3 innings pitched. He gave up 5 runs on 5 hits, struck out 4 and walked just 2, but he gives way to Big Red. Adam Cooper takes over on the mound. The right-hander makes his 11th appearance of the season, his 8th out of the bullpen. He has 11.81 ERA in 21 and a third innings pitched. But Daniel is coming off arguably his best outing of the summer. He got the start Sunday against Clinton, gave up just 3 runs on 4 hits, struck out 3 in 4 innings pitched. If anything, it was the 3 walks and 3 hit by pitches that made things a little closer than they probably should have been.
Yeah, Cooper, sometimes you mentioned the free pass issues that he had on Sunday. That's usually the MO for him. He gets bounced around a little bit, but there are times where he can't find strike 3, gives up walks, hits a few guys, and by that time he's given up a few too many runs. But overall, I think 2 of the last 3 outings and 3 of the last 4 outings have been the best we've seen him outside of that outing against the Springfield Lucky Horseshoes where he gave up 8 runs in the first inning and couldn't recover from that. But July 5th against the Cape Catfish, 4 innings, 3 innings against the Lafayette Aviators, and good length against Clinton on Sunday.
First pitch swinging is the first man that greets him, Joe Ratio, and he pops up, and Noah Delgado tracks it down just inside the right field foul line for out number 1 here in the Thrillvillies' 4th. Bean Ballers had a golden opportunity in the top half of this inning to do some real damage. 4 consecutive walks given out by Ben Ayala, but a strikeout of Chase Weiss, and then Will Applegate grounding into a 4-6-3 double play certainly hurt those opportunities. But now Cooper trying to just keep this game right where it is at 5-2. He gets Christophe Alexander. First pitch to the right-hander is high and away for ball 1. Alexander struck out swinging his first time up. That was against Luke Bonstetter. And if you look at Big Red's numbers, they have certainly improved here in the month of July. His ERA just at 9 in the month in 15 innings pitched. 13 strikeouts, still 16 walks and 7 hit batters. But he has just been a bulldog on the mound competing. 1-0. Fastball clips the outside corner, 1-1.
Yeah, and it was really just the length against Clinton. He was being efficient. It wasn't until that 5th inning where he had to be yanked after he allowed the first few guys to reach, but he did a good job of keeping the ball in the park.
Alexander grounds one to the left side, stabbed at by Weiss, gloves in and fires it across in time to get Alexander by a step. And the first 2 hitters Big Red has faced, he's retiring him 2 outs for the top of the lineup.
Yeah, that's really good footwork from Weiss. When it's something like that, when it gets a big hop on this bouncy turf, you can either back up, field it on the short hop, or scoot in and chase it and try to field it on a long hop. And Weiss backs up. He does a really good job of picking this off the ground on the short hop. Good throw across and gets Alexander, gets out number 2.
First pitch to Mark Nowak. He hacks at it, grounds it up the middle and on into center field. It's his 2nd hit of the night, and he extends this inning for at least 1 more batter on a single up the middle, his 2nd hit in as many innings.
Yeah, typically pitcher wants to get ahead in the count, so they're going to give you a good pitch to hit first pitch and not expecting you always to swing. And Nowak is dead red on this fastball. He swings away immediately and punches it off the mound. It takes a little hop up the middle. Base hit for him.
First pitch fastball off the plate to Hayden Bernruder for ball 1. For Nowak, it's his 30th hit of the year. He's now the 5th Thrillbilly to hit the 30-hit threshold on his 8th multi-hit game of the summer. Bernruder was 0 for 2 against Bonstetter. The 1-0. Fastball off the plate, 2-0. Bernruder hitting .317 here in the month of July with 2 games to go. 19 hits in the month. 2-0 offering. Swing and a miss late on a fastball, 2-1. For Bernruder, his best stretch of games has come here in the month of July. From July 18th to July 24th, he went 12 for 19 with a pair of homers and 8 RBIs. The 2-1 lifted in the air, down the left field line, slicing away from Grabowski. It's up onto the hill near the left field foul pole for a long strike 2. It was certainly a stretch for Bernruder. Had 5 of those 12 hits being extra bases. Also went 6 consecutive games with an RBI. Trying to finish strong as he has no RBIs his last 6. 2-2. Called! Strike 3 on the inner half. Freezes him with the fastball. And Big Red tallies his first K. He strands the man on the 2-out single, but he throws up a much-needed 0 for the Bean Ballers. We're headed to the 5th here in Marion. Your Bean Ballers chasing 3, headed to the 5th.
sun is set down here in Marion. The lights have taken full effect at Mtn Dew Park, and still it's the right-hander Ben Ayala on the mound through 4 innings, looking for his 5th inning of work. And he'll face 4, 5, 6. Heart of the order for Decatur. Brady Grabowski, Gage Reynolds, and Noah Delgado due up. And after Ayala worked himself into a jam, walked the first 4 batters he faced last inning, and brought in a run. He got a strikeout of Chase Weiss and got Will Applegate to ground into a double play, get out of the jam, only giving up 1 run, and the Thrillbillies maintain a 3-run lead headed to the 5th with Grabowski, Reynolds, and Delgado due up.
Hey, you're chasing 3, and you had a great opportunity last inning. You just need to continue to fight against Ayala. Who knows how many batters he has left, but with his command, can't be chasing anything. But you also got to look to ambush something that he does give you over the middle of the plate because his confidence is a little shaken.
7 guys left on base so far for Decatur. Actually make that 6 because 1 was cut down on the double play. First pitch to Grabowski. Fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. Brady today 0 for 2. Reached on a fielder's choice his last time up. Moved into second on a wild pitch but was stranded there as Decatur's left men in scoring position each of the 4 innings so far today. It's 0-2 as Grabowski fouls 1 into the screen off to the right. And Ayala yet to work a 1-2-3 inning. Grabowski looking for his first hit. Back here at Mtn Dew Park was a Thrillbillie last year. 0-2 pitch. Slider away off the glove of Rawls, and it trickles towards the Thrillbillies dugout. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Thrillbillies home dugouts on the first base side. Decatur, the away dugouts on the third base side. 1-2 pitch. Slider that doesn't slide. 2-2 as it nearly clips Grabowski.
It just seemed like Ayala tonight just really hasn't had consistent command out of any of his pitches, and it's been hard to keep these beanballer hitters off balance.
2-2. Swings and misses as Grabowski reaches out at a cutter that cuts away. That one did cut. And there is another strikeout. Strikeout victim number 3 for Ayala, and there's out number 1 in the 5th.
I wonder if that was a setup pitch for Ayala right there to back Grabowski off the plate, and then just a nice tight cutter. Great movement east to west, and you get a big leadoff strikeout.
Gage Reynolds himself struck out his last time up. Make that strikeout number 4 for Ayala as he gets strike 1 on a foul ball from Reynolds. He also grounded out to first to end the first inning. Looking for a little bit of revenge is Reynolds. 0 for 2 so far. Went 0 for 3 yesterday. 0-1. Slider inside 1-1. It's interesting. Decatur played a full 9 innings yesterday, yet the last 4 hitters in the Bean Ballers lineup only came up to the plate 3 times. Reynolds swings and misses. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Another cutter that Ayala seems to really have the feel on. Throws 3 types of fastballs. A cutter, 2-seam, 4-seam. Can get east-west movement in either direction. 1-2. Fastball just below the zone. It's 2-2. Reynolds hit 4 home runs this past spring. He's a member of the Big Blue. Millikan University. Has a couple of doubles, but yet to find the long ball with the Bean Ballers. 2-2 pitch. And he might have found it just there. Deep to left field. Reynolds watches it fly. It's out of here, and it's into the trees. For the second consecutive day, a Bean Baller has their first home run of the season, and this one belongs to Gage Reynolds.
Well, partner, I'd have to say that you called that one. That was a great swing from Reynolds. It's just a fastball up that he gets every bit of. Absolutely crushes this one. That's just a great swing from Reynolds, who has really just swung it well in July, and that might be the cherry on top to end his season.
So after Reynolds' first long ball of the season, Noah Delgado to the plate. He's looking for his first home run. Doubt I can call that one, but we'll see. First pitch from Ayala. Outside, ball 1. Delgado, pair of ground outs to short to lead off the second and the third. Up in the fifth, 1-0 pitch. Tapped foul, 1 ball and 1 strike. And coming in as a team, the Bean Ballers pretty light on power. Overall this season, Decatur has the fewest home runs in the Prospect League. That was just long ball number 17. Next closest is the Jackson Rockabillies with 23 home runs.
That was something we discussed last night. Nick Bonkowski and Wally Diaz have more homers individually than the Bean Ballers have as a team.
2-1 pitch. Check swing. No swing. It's 3-1 now. Fastball upstairs. But Decatur gets back in that category with its 17th long ball. Swung on and missed. A cutter inside. It's now 3-2. Petska on deck. He hit his first home run yesterday. Reynolds hits his first today, which means overall 4 different Bean Ballers have hit at least 1 home. Rather, 4 different Bean Ballers have exactly 1 home run on the season. Payoff pitch. Delgado takes it outside. Ball 4. And following up the home run from Reynolds, Noah Delgado draws a walk.
That's now the 6th walk given out by Ben Ayala. He came in with just 7 total on the season, and unfortunately for him, that's going to do it as Patrick Morey out of the first base dugout, and he'll be handed the ball, and, well, the Thrillvillies go to the bullpen for the first time.
So 4 1/3 innings is all it is for Ben Ayala. It does not qualify for the win should his Thrillbillies hold on, but he leaves the lead for the bullpen as a new arm will inherit a runner on, 1 out, 1 already in for the Bean Ballers in this inning. Ayala exits, having allowed 3 runs. We got a pitching change here at Mtn Dew Park. Bean Ballers and Thrillbillies, a 5-3 ball game in favor of the host Thrillville Thrillbillies when we come back. Ben Ayala exits as the right-hander Cale Zoller to enter for the Thrillville Thrillbillies. Winfield, Illinois native. To no surprise, spent last spring at John A. Logan College. He inherits one-on, one-out situation, and the Bean Ballers are chasing 2 runs, tying run to the plate in the form of Hampton Petska.
He makes his Thrillbillies debut here tonight. Did not pitch at John A. Logan College either, so his first time pitching in a competitive game in a while. And it's definitely a tight situation, only up by 2.
First pitch, fastball upstairs at 85, 1-0 now the count to Petska. It's a closed stance as he comes set with his left leg in front of his right leg. Only from the stretch with a runner on. 1-0 pitch outside on a fastball again. It's 2-0. Petska today has reached twice. He's the strikeout legend of the game, brought to Mtn Dew Park by Urban Legend Barbecue. But he doubled and scored a run, walked and scored a run. And he's a pitch away from walking as he takes another fastball upstairs. 3-0 now the count. And it's the free passes that did Ayala in the 4th. 4 walks yielded a run, and a solo home run to Reynolds and a walk to Delgado so far here in the 5th after he struck out Grabowski. 3-0 pitch. Right down Broadway, fastball at 85. It's 3-1.
I want to be careful. Again, I said coming into this game, it was the bottom of the order that was going to need to come through for Decatur. They've only been retired once. Petska, Newton, and Scheffel trying to keep that streak going.
All 3 of them drew a walk last inning as Petska swings and misses at a fastball upstairs. Count goes full. To lead off last inning, it was walk, 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 walk. And we struck out. Applegate grounded into a double play, and Decatur could only come away with 1. Hoping to come away with more than 1 in this inning. Petska's the tying run. Payoff pitch. Chopped foul at the plate.
A bit of a late swing from Petska. I think he was sitting breaking ball right there from Zoller. And said he got a fastball just a little bit late. But he stays alive. That's what you got to do with 2 strikes sometimes. Just shorten up your swing a little bit. Fight off anything close and look to punish a mistake.
Sometimes it is the velocity that Petska struggles with. The double earlier today was on a slider. Home run yesterday on a hanging slider. The only run Decatur got against the Burlington Bees. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Petska down on a fastball at 87 on the outside corner. There's the first strikeout for the first batter that Zoller faces. And Petska's out number 2.
Again, a fastball that just catches him off guard. He's late on his timing, and pretty sure that ball was already in the mitt of Hayden Rawls before Petska even started his swing. And just unfortunately, that's a hittable pitch right there. Fastball middle away, and came up empty.
Jackson Newton to the plate. Walked last inning. Did not score. So he takes change up in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes. Struck out his first time up back in the 2nd. Was the first strikeout victim of Ayala, who overall punched out 4 in his 4 1/3 innings pitched. 1-0 pitch. Newton swings and misses. Fastball at the top of the zone. It's 1-1. But because of the double play from Applegate, the Bean Ballers had bases loaded, nobody out, and after we struck out and Applegate grounded into a double play, 1 run is all Decatur got. Got 1 run in this inning, though. It's a 5-3 ball game. 1-1, outside ball 2. C.J. Scheffel on deck. You mentioned it, Truman. Before that strikeout from Petska, the bottom of the order had reached 5 of the 6 plate appearances it had. 2-1 pitch, outside ball 3. As Petska was 1 for 1 with a double and a walk. Newton was 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk, and Scheffel was also 1 for 1 with a double and a walk, and still is, but would need Newton to reach in order for him to come to the plate. 3-1 pitch. Popped up, left side, foul ground, barrelies over, and he watches it fly onto the grassy hill. Count still full to Newton. Big alleys here at Mtn Dew Park. Deep center field, 400 feet, but the alleys are even further. The pitch, outside ball 4. Delgado to second. Newton reaches on his 2nd walk of the day. He's walked in consecutive innings. And that'll bring up C.J. Scheffel.
Just a patient at bat from Newton. Like we said, for a lot of these, it hasn't. Only one of the walks that Decatur has drawn tonight has been a 4-pitch variety. All the other ones have gone full to these hitters. So they've fouled off pitches, but they've done a nice job of knowing where the strike zone is, having great plate discipline, and extending innings and just passing the torch to the next guy.
Scheffel came in hitting just 200, had only 10 at-bats on the season. He has 2 plate appearances today, a double and a walk. Swings and misses at a fastball outside, nothing and 1. But it's been a lot better in the month of July. Again, small sample size, just 5 at-bats in May and June without a hit. But in July, he's 3 for 6, 500 batting average. He's drawn a pair of hit by pitches and a walk. He's brought in 3 as well. All 3 of his RBIs in July. Takes a fastball at the knees, nothing and 2.
And you can see Zoller working him away. First couple of bats, they were working him in. He got the double down the left field line, but see if he can go that way again if Zoller is going to continue to pitch him away.
Struck out in 4 of his 5 at-bats before July. Only once in his 6 at-bats in July, but at risk of another as he takes a fastball just off the plate, 1 and 2. Despite Scheffel being a lefty bat, Thrillbillies shading him to hit the opposite way, as if he's a righty bat. Here's the 1-2. Scheffel fouls it off, gets a piece of a fastball at 86 and puts it towards his dugout. And that is how he's being pitched. He is being pitched away, so Thrillbillies hoping to plug the holes that he might find. Big hold of the right side as Ifrig is on the line and Alexander is essentially behind the second base bag. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Scheffel's down on strikes. A pair of strikeouts from Zoller. He strands 2 on base and gets out of it. The Bean Ballers get a run on a solo home run from Gage Reynolds. Decatur trails 5-3 as we're halfway done here at Mtn Dew Park. Halfway done here at Mtn Dew Park. Big Red Adam Cooper back to the mound for the Bean Ballers. Pitched a 0 up in the 4th after Luke Bonstetter gave up 5 runs in the first 3 innings. It's a 5-3 lead for the Thrillbillies after a solo shot from Gage Reynolds in the top half of this 5th inning. And Cooper only saw 4 hitters, fly out, ground out, single, strikeout. He gets 3, 4, 5. Riley Ifrig, Pierce Bowerly, and Hayden Rawls to the plate. And this is the tough part of the order. Is Ifrig has an RBI triple. Bowerly's 2 for 2 with a pair of singles, a pair of stolen bases, and a pair of runs. And Rawls has also walked and scored a run. And Atkinson, who's due up 4th in this inning, has reached both times. A 2 RBI double, also reached on a walk. First pitch, chopped up the middle. It'll be a tough play for Linderman, who fields it. Tossed to first is above the head of Petska. And Ifrig is going to reach on the error. Would have been a bang-bang play at first, but definitely could have made the play.
That's a great job from Linderman. He gets to it. It's a high chopper, but he waits on the hop, and then basically he fields and throws all in the same motion. And I think Hampton Petska just stretches too early, and he stretches out instead of up, and this ball just goes barely right over his glove. And I think this is the play that Petska should make. Unfortunately, the leadoff hitter's on.
No ruling yet on whether it's a hit or an error. But nonetheless, Ifrig is on. Burley to the plate. He takes ball one, and it is a base hit. They say that Ifrig would have made it whether it was a good throw or not from Linderman. So Decatur still errorless in the field today. 1-0 is up and away, 2-0. So that's the 7th hit of the day for the Thrillbillies. Ifrig is 2 for 3, triple and a single. And Burley nearly gets plunked. Count now 3 balls and no strikes. Cooper working from the stretch. Here it is. It's away. It gets by Reynolds. Ifrig will advance to second and won't go past that nonetheless. But the first 2 have reached, and there's the first free pass handed out by Cooper.
That's just 4 straight misses from Big Red. And again, the walks and the free passes in general have really been his Achilles heel. For as much as he's grinded this year, he can't overcome the struggles with the command. 27 walks in his 21 1/3 innings. He's also second on the team, 12 hit batsmen. Only trails Parker Phillips by 214 Phillips had. So 39 free passes given out. Opponent's just hitting 286, but he's hurt himself more often than not.
Hayden Rawls 0 for 1, walk and a run scored his first time up, also struck out back in the 3rd. Bonstetter did have 4 punch-outs in just 3 innings, but the damage was dealt, 5 runs. 1-0 pitch, right down the middle on a fastball at 83, 1 ball and 1 strike. Cooper, meanwhile, has 1 punch-out, got Hayden Bernruder looking last inning. Meanwhile, Rawls did not appear last time these two faced, and he gets plunked. 1-1 pitch is inside, and it hits him in the mid-torso area. And the bases are now loaded of Thrillbillies.
Well, case in point, if you're Adam Cooper, you've let things snowball on you and then almost let the train come off the rails after an infield single. You now have walked a guy and now hit a guy, and just not what you wanted to see. For as much as Cooper has battled, you got to just dig down and not let it get in your head. Not sure what it is, as John Tony's going to have a chat with him, but just uncharacteristic now. After your team finally has clawed their way back to down 2 runs, you're at risk of possibly relinquishing as close as Decatur got and giving up a big crooked number here in the 5th.
And if you're Decatur, you're just hoping, you're not going to see Cooper after this game, but you're hoping that it's a strong outing to finish things off and he doesn't go back to his old ways of giving up the free passes to pretty much every guy in the box. As Cooper came in, he had an 11.81 ERA across 21 in the 3rd innings pitched, but it's just been the free passes as he handed out 27 walks. He'd hit 12 guys, given up 24 hits, only struck out 16, so you're hoping he can be a little more efficient today. First pitch to Atkinson's at the knees for strike 1. Atkinson himself yet to be retired. 2-run double. He's drawn a walk. 0-1 pitch. Just outside ball 1 rather. The Thrillbillies already got out of a bases loaded jam. Can Cooper do the same as this one's flared off to the left? 1-2 now the count to Atkinson. And Cooper seems to have a little more pep in his step since the mound visit. He's working quicker. Seems to be a little more aggressive on the mound. See if he can get big strikeout. Maybe even a double play. 1-2 pitch. Up and away, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
What if John Tony threatened to rip his big red mustache off his face?
It's called Big Red, and he is both big and red. 6'6", has ginger beard and mustache. No more beard anymore as this one's fouled back. Still 2-2, but red head of hair. Not a big head of hair, but it is a red head of hair, and he's, once again, 6'6". Big guy. Still a 2-2 count to Atkinson. 2-2 pitch. Just above the zone on a slider, and the count goes full.
And you really can't walk in a run right here. You got to go right after Atkinson. Challenge him, something your best stuff against his best stuff. Hopefully you can get a strikeout.
Payoff pitch. Outside, ball 4. And Cooper walks in a run. His third free pass of the inning. Ifrig comes in to score. Bowerly to third, rolls to second. Atkinson with his third RBI of the day to first.
Now it's one of those things where if Jessup, Ratio, or Alexander can come through with a big hit in the gap, all of a sudden this game is getting way out of hand and just hurting yourself. That pitch way outside, not even remotely close to a challenge.
Fortunately for the Bean Ballers, bottom of the order, Jessup, Ratio, Alexander, 0 for 6 combined today as Jessup in front of a slider, 0-1. Pair of punch-outs between those three as well. Jessup, not one of them, a ground out and a fly out. 0-1. Chopped on the ground, up the middle. Linderman has it. His only play is to first, and Petska can't dig it out. A run comes in to score. The throw was low, and Petska couldn't dig it out. And still nobody out in the inning. There likely is that first error for the Bean Ballers.
Kind of flabbergasted. I mean, Linderman does a good job. Unfortunately, I mean, his only play is to first. I thought he could have gone home, and Petska felt like with the departure of Jackson Snitko and Jackson Miller is the weakest of the three defensive first basemen, and that's just one he should come up with, and I think they're going to give the air to Linderman, but
yeah, it was a low throw, and you know, you could say it's a little bit unfair to ask your first baseman to come up with that or he be scored with an error, but it certainly was playable for Petska. Ratio's down 0-2 and swings and misses. Had a slider outside the zone. He's down on strikes, 0 for 3 on the day. But it's now a 7-3 ball game. The bases are still loaded, only one out with Alexander to the plate.
And yet another strikeout for Ratio, and Big Red really needed that. With it being 7-3, he needed to get back, and now here against the 9-hole Chris Alexander, if you get him to roll into a double play, that would be fantastic.
Cleveland native is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. Takes a slider for strike one, as we've seen a lot more sliders from Cooper after he got into the jam. Trying to get out of it via the slide piece. 0-1 pitch. Chopped off himself. 0-2 now, the count to Alexander. Brandon Abernathy is up, moving around in the Bean Ballers bullpen. Not on the mound throwing yet, but it's possible we see B.A. on the mound. 0-2 pitch outside, 1-2 now, the count to Alexander. Abernathy, a leadoff man for quite some time this year for Decatur. This one's fouled near the Thrillbillies dugout, 1-2 still. And Truman, something you mentioned, want to clear up any confusion. Thrillville Thrillbillies, Jackson Rockabillies, they are spelled differently. And what you said, Truman, you told me they're not related. So there's no relation between the Billies of Thrillville, Billies, and then the Jackson Rockabillies, Billys. It's now a 2-2 count to Alexander. Bases juiced. Only one out. Cooper asking for a double play. Chopped foul.
Just spoiling a lot of pitches is Alexander. He's got 2 or 3 that have just handcuffed him. He somehow fouled him off. Brings into the question, fouling, pitches off. Some basically an art, also pretty much a skill that guys can have.
2-2 pitch. Outside ball 3. Cooper can't get the call on a slider. The count goes full again to Alexander. Went full to Atkinson after Cooper had him 1-2. Ended up walking him to bring in a run. Hoping to avoid the same result to Alexander. Payoff pitch, well outside on a fastball, and he does. Alexander walks, a run comes in to score. And it's now an 8-3 lead for the Thrillbillies as Rawls touches home.
Now, walks are tough, not just because they give up free base runners, but it also just gets your defense kind of being lazy. Their feet aren't moving. They're not making plays. That could have led to that Charlie Linderman error, but again, I mean, it's now or never time. I mean, 8-3, a 5-run ball game. You really need to come up big if you're Big Red.
Mark Nowak to the plate. Takes a pitch inside, almost hit him. Nowak 2 for 3. Pair of singles, scored a run. And on deck is Bernruder, the last out in the 4th. Should he come to the plate, the Thrillbillies would bat around as the 1-0 is fouled down the third base line.
And now you're at risk of possibly Riley Ifrig coming back to the plate with the bases loaded if you can't get these next 2 hitters out, and that would just be dangerous.
Cooper wants to do nothing more than avoid that. 1-1 count to Nowak. 1 out. Bases juiced of Thrillbillies. One. Fastball at the knees. Strike 2 as Cooper dots the outside corner. Punch out would be huge as it would not move up any runners, wouldn't score any runs, and would get the second out. Cooper's 1-2. Tapped foul. Nowak fouls it off his own foot, and it's still 1-2. And Cooper faced just 4 hitters in the 4th, got through swimmingly, just ran into trouble and had to throw a lot of pitches here in the 5th. As they've gone single, walk, hit by pitch, walk, error, strikeout, walk. 3 walks, a hit by pitch. As he misses upstairs, it's 2-2 now to Nowak.
I feel like I'm getting deja vu of down in Jackson, that second game. Luke Bonser, he was throwing a lot of strikes, but just couldn't find strike 3 and out, and led to a lot of walks, and it feels like the same for Big Red. He's making good pitches. They're just spoiling him. I mean, it's frustrating for him.
Here's the 2-2. Chopped in the air. Shallow left field. Grabowski's coming in. He'll have to field it on a hop, and it gets by him. Atkinson is in. Jessup is in. A convoy around third as both runners are being waved home. The throw to the plate. Neither of them will be out. They both score. It's going to be an in-the-park home run, Little League or not. All 4 runs score, and the Rockabillies lead 12-3.
That's a gamble that Brady Grabowski takes. It ball not hit particularly hard. It's in on the hands, flared out into left, and he doesn't dive, he doesn't slide. He tries to just scoop it on a short hop, and he doesn't play the turf well, and it gets past him, and Nowak was off to the races immediately. I mean, he could have jumped on the back of Christoph Alexander and rode him home like a horse, but there's the dagger. It feels like now a 9-run deficit, 7 home in this inning, and Cooper's first pitch hits Hayden Bernruder.
And the home plate umpire pulling him back.
I thought it hit Hayden Bernruder.
Certainly yanked well inside. If not the body, it certainly looked like it at least got the jersey, but home plate umpire says no. It's just going to be ball 1 on Cooper. No error on the play. It's just an in-the-park home run on the misplay. Nowak gets an in-the-park grand slam.
Don't see that many days around here.
No, that's actually something we haven't seen yet this season. The 3rd grand slam for or against the Bean Ballers this year. 2-0 is upstairs, 3-0. Misael Maldonado, a grand slam back in the 9th inning on June 30th against the Danville Dans. Nick Bonkowski, one of the home run leaders in the Prospect League, had a grand slam against Decatur on June 19th. Here's the 3-0. Outside ball 4, so Bernharder isn't gifted a hit by pitch, but he is still walked on 4 pitches. He's aboard for the first time today. And batted around +1 are the Thrillbillies. Ifrig to the plate for the second time this inning. There's still only 1 out.
Well, this is the second time we've seen an inside the park home run go against the Decatur Bean Ballers. You go back against the Illinois Valley Pistol Shrimp June 20th. Dominic Bautista, inside the park 2-run homer. So combining 2 of the most exciting plays in baseball. Granted, most of them have now gone against Decatur, which for us is definitely not fun, but as a baseball fan, you can appreciate it.
Yeah, that home run for Bautista was a fly ball lost in the lights in left field. This one was a flare that snuck under the glove of Grabowski. Strike 1 poured into Ifrig, who singled to lead off this inning and has since scored, one of 7 men to touch home plate. It's now a 1-1 count.
Well, now we're in the scenario where it's starting to talk about the Thrillbillies run ruling the Bean Ballers. Up 9, they would need 1 more, and then they would need to shut out the Bean Ballers over the next 2 times they come to the plate.
1-1 pitch. Upstairs, ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. And the Central Division, one of 2 divisions, hasn't quite been decided until today when the Terre Haute Rex took down the Kokomo Creek Chubs 11-4. So despite the Danville Dans victory at the Du Bois County Bombers 5-0, Terre Haute clinched the second half championship. They will face Du Bois County, and that we now turn to the Northwest Division, the only division where a second half champion is not fully decided. The Burlington Bees were postponed against the Quincy Doggy Paddlers. They play each other tomorrow, so there will be a doubleheader should it happen. And there's a free pass gifted by Cooper. That'll be it for him. As Arroyo's out to the mound to grab the ball, Raul Gill comes in, but the damage is done. 7 runs in this inning after Cooper puts up a 0 in the 4th. We got a pitching change here at Mtn Dew Park. Bean Ballers in a world of trouble, trailing 12-3. Raul Gill to the mound. Bean Ballers in a world of trouble, trail 12-3 here in Thrillville on the penultimate day of the Prospect League Stadium. It was a 5-3 ball game to start this inning, but since Thrillville has batted around +1 and now +2 with Pierce Bowerly to the plate, still only 1 out in the inning. First pitch from Gill, fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. Adam Cooper exits. He went an inning and a third, gave up 7 runs, although only 6 of them to this point are earned. There was an error in the field this inning. 0-1 pitch. Fastball on the outside corner, strike 2.
That's what Gill's got to do, just throw strikes. He's coming off a shutout appearance Tuesday against Danville. Struck out 2 in his inning. He's hoping he doesn't replicate his outing against Jackson. He gave up 5 runs on 4 hits, including a homer.
Spent a lot of time in the field for the Bean Ballers fielders. Looks a little bit dejected. We've seen a lot today. In the park grand slam in this inning. 0-2 pitch. Runner goes to third as Bernruder steals third. Ifrig was not going. It's just first and third as Bowerly takes a ball. 1-2 now.
Yeah, and this is a problem because Gill has a big old leg kick, and Bernruder timed it up, and then no chance for Gage Reynolds.
Peeking at Ifrig. Kick and deal. First pitch. Downstairs blocked by Reynolds. 2-2.
That's a guy that Decatur has not retired yet today in Bowerly. He's scored 3 runs, and he's looking for more. Thrillvillies have certainly put their stamp on this game thus far.
Thrillbillies have 3 stolen bases today. They're now 53 for 56 on attempts in the month of July. As the 2-2s upstairs is now full. And Bowerly at the plate has 2 of those 3 stolen bases. He's reached all 3 times. Single walk, stole 2 bases, scored 3 runs. It's a payoff pitch incoming. Runner goes. It's inside. Another run comes in to score as it gets by Reynolds. Bowerly reaches for the 4th time today. Meanwhile, Bernruder comes in to score Ifrig to second. Rather, Ifrig going on the pitch makes it all the way to third, and it's now a 13-3 ball game.
Yeah, this is just a pitch in the dirt that gets spiked, and Reynolds does everything. He's been a warrior back there. He's endured most of this season and just can't get his body in front of it. And it kicks way off toward the Decatur Bean Ballers dugout. A big, big spacious backstop here, and Ifrig keeps the motor going.
Hayden Rawls to the plate. Was hit by a pitch his first time up this inning and blasts one past the diving Weiss into left field. Ifrig comes in to score. Bowerly will stop at second. An RBI single for Hayden Rawls, and the Thrillbillies lead 14-3.
And that's just the ambush right in the middle of the plate. Fastball up, easy swing, and Weiss gives great effort, but sneaks under his glove.
So for this inning, that is just the 3rd hit for the Thrillbillies, but they've scored 9 runs now. Jarius Atkinson brought in the first on an RBI walk, which was just 1 out ago. There's still only 1 out in the inning. 1-0 pitch, just off the outside corner, 2-0. Once again, this was a half inning. The Decatur was just trailing by 2 when it entered. 2-0, outside ball 3.
And it seems like things have just gone bad to worse for Decatur. And they still need 2 outs. It's not like they're looking for 1 out. They need 2, and even getting the 2nd out seems like a long off shot.
3-0, outside ball 4. Atkinson draws a 4-ball walk, his 2nd walk of the inning. And it continues without that 2nd out, as this is now the 14th guy to come to the plate. Nathan Jessup reached on an error, came around to score. And that means that 7 straight have reached since the ratio strikeout. Jessup 0 for 3. Ground out, fly out, reached on an error, scored a run. The first pitch takes up and away, ball 1. Bases juiced again. 1-0 pitch, inside, almost hit him, ball 2. And now Gill made a motion to his dugout, pointing to his shoulder, and Gabe Arroyo out to the mound. This might do it for Gill.
That's not what you want to see. Definitely unfortunate if you are Gill. You never want to see injuries in the summer league, but that'll do it from him. And we'll see who comes out of the bullpen, Daniel. We'll play Guess Who with the rest of everybody, but
It's Brandon Abernathy.
Hey, BA. You know, if there's been a guy that he'll have set a lot of records for Decatur by the time this season ends, then, you know, one of those is positions played. He's played all 3 outfield spots. He's played second base. He's pitched. Probably one of my favorite players, if not my favorite player from this season of Bean Ballers baseball. He's a guy that, you know, he came from Cali, and he stuck it out. You know, he could have left with Jackson Snitko, Matthew Novominski, but he stuck it out. And, well, now he gets the chance to pitch yet again.
Abernathy comes in. This is his 6th appearance. He has a 29.25 ERA, but of course, pitching isn't really what he's asked to do, but the one area he has been good at is limiting the walks. As just 4 walks in 4 innings pitched, as many strikeouts as he has. He's been bounced around, of course, 15 hits given up, but you talk about a guy who could just be dependable. Abernathy, this is his 48th game played this summer. He started in 45 of them, most of those either in center field, right field, or in left field. 7 doubles, 3 triples, hit .263 this summer, and 175 at-bats. And overall was just 4 hits away from creating the 50-hit club. Still has the most hits on the team and will likely end the season with that mark of 46. But he's being asked to pitch, and yeah, I agree with you, Truman. He is, I would say, one of my favorite guys on the team as well. A very bubbly, lively personality, very talkative guy. Great to have a conversation with. Really dependable guy who plays baseball hard. As he warms up, infielders talk to each other, outfielders talk to each other. You know, this is the penultimate, if not the ultimate day for the Bean Ballers, as rain tomorrow in Danville, and that game no longer matters for playoffs, so we'll see if it ends up happening. We hope it does, of course. Want to bring you another Bean Ballers game one final time on the official YouTube channel for your Decatur Bean Ballers, but whether it is or not, it's been a crazy ride. Coming into today, I think we could say that we thought we had pretty much seen it all, and clearly we hadn't, as we've seen an in-the-park grand slam in this inning for the Thrillbillies, but certainly plenty of crazy, hectic things. Hey, that's summer baseball. 24-run first win for the Bean Ballers back on May 27th against the Terre Haute Rex. Abernathy to the mound. Nathan Jessup behind the plate. Pitch in the dirt, ball 1.
Ball 3. It was already 2-0 on Jessup. So now he's 1 pitch away from working an RBI walk. But I hope BA just those strikes. If he gets hit around, so what? Let's get some action.
3-0 pitch. Taking all the way is Jessup, who takes a strike. Abernathy, don't kid yourself. He can hurry it up there a little bit, as if he's a regular pitcher in the Prospect League. Fastball low to mid-80s. 3-1s chopped on the ground. Tough play for Weiss. Instead, it's Linderman deep in the hole at short. Toss to first is not in time. Jessup legs it out. An infield single, and a run comes in to score as Bowerly crosses, but still only 1 out.
Yeah, this probably would have been an easier play for Chase Weiss, but he just can't glove it. And it's a deep play in the hole at short from Linderman. He tries to fire it across, nowhere to go the short way, and just too much speed.
Abernathy deals strike one to Joe Horatio. He's the only guy who hasn't reached today. 0 for 3, a pair of strikeouts, and has made the only out in this inning. Behind the count 0-1. 0-1 becomes 0-2. Takes a fastball on the inside corner. Ratio looking to join the party. The Thrillbillies only have 5 more hits than the Bean Ballers, but after that run, it's a 15-3 ball game. Thrillville leads by 12. Poked over the head of Applegate and into right center as Ratio joins the hit club. 2 runs will come in to score. Another runner, Jessup, to third. 2 RBI single for Ratio, and now it's a 17-3 ball game.
Yeah, 0-2 just over the plate, and it's a good swing from Ratio, and I'm struggling to find adjectives to describe how bad it's gotten. And the score, down by 2 touchdowns, certainly that, but I don't know, man.
Fouled off by Christoph Alexander. Walked and scored earlier this inning. Looking for his first hit.
If anything, the Bean Ballers will not be shut out tonight. That is one thing I can be certain of.
3 runs already for Decatur. 0-1 pitch on the outside corner. 0-2. Alexander, Cleveland, Ohio native. Down on the count 0-2. Abernathy deals, runner goes. The throw down from Reynolds is not in time as it pulls Applegate off the bag. Ratio comes in to second, and Jessup comes in to score. A double steal as Reynolds was just trying to get an out, but could not. It's now an 18-3 ball game. 1-2 count now to Alexander. Abernathy peaks at second. 1-2. Downstairs 2-2.
That's a little bush league in my opinion. You're up 14 runs. Why are you stealing bases? Like, who's gonna care? I don't know. Sorry, just airing my grievances. Pardon my frustrations.
Well, cue shot. Linderman fields, tosses on the run. Petska digs this one out. There is out number 2 as Alexander's retired. Ratio moves up on the play. Still an 18-3 ball game. But I do think, Truman, you do have a point. There are some unwritten rules in baseball, you know.
Darn it, I'm a man of integrity.
Swinging at 3-0 pitches. You know, not running up the score, not showing up your opponents in a blowout. And a little questionable for the Thrillbillies, not only to steal bags, but to try to steal home, as this one's popped up high in the sky in center. Newton makes the catch to retire the side, but not before 13 men come across the plate. And 17 men come to the plate. The Thrillbillies leave 1 and lead 18-3 as we head to the 6th inning here at Mtn Dew Park.
Top of the 6th here from Mtn Dew Ballpark. Truman Griesel, Daniel Herzog here with you. Blink and you missed it. The Thrillbillies strike for 13 runs in the inning. And get this, they sent 17 men to the plate. They almost batted twice through the order in the same half inning, but thankfully, Brandon Abernathy got out of it with just the 13 runs across, but now definitely a big hole to fill if you're Decatur down 15, but it's the top of the lineup. Linderman, Weiss, and Applegate due up, looking to just start their way back. I mean, you've got, unfortunately at this point, only 6 outs to play with as you're down by 15. Run rule in the Prospect League is 10 after 7. So you need to score at least 6 over these next 2 innings, but hey, Daniel, why not us? In a season that has shown us just about everything, why not us?
Yeah, a bunch of crazy things tonight. In the Park Grand Slam last inning. So Decatur's put men on today. The bats have not been the issue. It's just failing to get outs and, failing to, you fall victim to the free pass bug and then you really fall victim to it. So, hey, why not us?
Charlie Linderman starts the 6th with a single right up the middle off Cole Zoller. Why not him? And now he's trying to go 2 on a bit of a lazy play, and the throw-in gets away from the shortstop ratio. And it's a leadoff double for Charlie Linderman.
Yeah, Linderman, he doesn't just catch them. He doesn't catch the Thrillbillies napping here. They're more than napping. They're hibernating as this one's blasted up the middle, and Jessup takes a little bit to get to it. He sort of lobs it in, and it's on a hop to Alexander, who tries to field it and tag Linderman in one motion and forgets the first part of that equation, boots it a little bit away from him, and Bean Ballers have a man in scoring position.
Now Chase Weiss, Linderman on second, nobody out. The first pitch to Weiss. He swings at it, pops it up first base side and out of play. Unfortunately, Daniel, if the Bean Ballers were to come back in this one, it would not be the largest comeback in Prospect League history.
Really?
Really?
Wow.
Really? It's 1-0 on Weiss. We'll come back to that story. Hold on. Game's more important.
Absolutely.
0-1, slider off the plate. So back May 8th, 2014. Let's take you back. Take us back. May 8th, 2014. The Clinton Lumber Kings trailed 17-1.
Wow.
Against the Burlington Bees. They ended up winning 20-17 in 12 innings. 12. Took it 12, but they won. 1-1. Fouled back into the inning, 1-2.
So they're down 16 runs.
They were down 16. The Bean Ballers are down 15, so.
Well, I mean, Truman Decatur could allow 2 runs next inning and then come back. You'd never know. But that's interesting. We were just in Burlington, Iowa, but so we would have been 8 years old when that happened.
Yes.
Wow.
1-2. Slider in the dirt. Gets through the legs of Rawls. Linderman advances to third. And at least for now, the Bean Ballers have a man 90 feet away with nobody out. And, well, that game had some dramatics. Marcus Littlewood hit a dramatic game-tying grand slam in the top of the 9th to tie the game at 17. And then Justin Seeger drove in the go-ahead run in the 12th. Before second baseman Lonnie Capilla closed out the bottom of the 12th to earn the save. 1-2 to Weiss. Excuse me, 2-2 to Weiss was inside, so it's a full count.
Wow, imagine that. Imagine Decatur comes back in this one and then asks Will Applegate to get the save in the 12th.
All hands on deck, and I'm here for it. This game was going too fast anyway. Payoff pitch. Off the knob, dribbled out, gloved by the pitcher Zoller. He underhand flips to get Weiss. Linderman scores, but an excuse me contact is the first down in the 6th. It's now 18-4.
Yeah, Weiss goes to swing at this, then realizes it's inside, and by that time his hands are pointed straight at the pitcher as the knob of the bat is, and the barrel of the bat is pointed straight back, and it hits the knob, bounces off, and ends up with an RBI, but I'm sure the Bean Ballers wish they could score that run without getting an out.
First pitch to Will Applegate. He fouls it off third base side and off the upper deck and back onto the field. That ball had some serious mustard on it. For Weiss, that's his 12th RBI of the summer, but he's 0 for 4 tonight. Will Applegate had been 2 for 2 and arguably was the biggest at-bat when he came to the bat in the 4th. Grounded into an inning-ending double play. 0-1, fouled back, almost the same exact spot. Unfortunately, the net catches this one. It's 0-2.
Yeah, that was after Weiss's strikeout. You know, there was a point where before we struck out, Decatur had no outs, bases loaded. Tying run was on first base. And since then, Bean Ballers have been outscored 13-2.
Nobody on, one out, 18-4. The 1-2 pitch outside from Zoller, 2-2. Applegate, one thing he's done in a Bean Ballers uniform, set the most hits in a single game for Decatur. We went 5 for 5 against the Cape Catfish earlier this year. Hit a homer and drove in 2 in that game. 2-2, he just slaps it fouling out of the stadium, stays alive. But there's one thing Applegate will be remembered for, is that anybody that dons a Bean Ballers uniform and they want to say, hey, what's the single game record for hits in a game? Will Applegate will be the guy that they will be chasing. Zoller out of the stretch. Another 2-2. Swung on, slap foul again by Applegate. He stays alive once more.
Yeah, he's working Applegate outside, and Applegate's protecting that outside part of the plate. But 5 for 5, 4 singles and a home run. That homer also tied for most homers in a game for a Bean Baller player with 1, with everyone else who's hit a home run.
Everyone else. No multi-homer games so far here in year 1 of Decatur Bean Ballers baseball. 2-2. Hit in the air. Deep left field. Slicing foul. About 50 feet foul. Deep down the left field line. It had the distance, but couldn't keep it fair, as it's 3 straight foul balls by Applegate with 2 strikes.
Yeah, Zoller needs to be careful, though, because he's pitching him away, and Applegate's getting the bat around more and more as the pitches go by. This one just hooks a little bit. Certainly wasn't too close that it was scary, but was pretty close.
8th pitch from Zoller inside to Applegate. Full count. Brady Grabowski on deck. Bean Ballers just need runs. They need 5 more runs before they get 5 more outs, or else they're going to be sent back to Decatur early. Payoff pitch. Upstairs, ball 4. Quite the battle from Applegate. Did I have the count wrong?
I don't know. There's been a lot of pitches. It's possible they forgot.
Umpire said 3-2. I thought it was ball 4. Applegate swings to the next offering, golfs it into left, playable for Bernruder, and he makes the grab, and Applegate's retired. Instead of ball 4, it's a fly out for out number 2.
Yeah, Applegate puts contact to this one, but gets under it just the tiniest bit. Flies into the glove of Bernruder for out number 2, and Decatur now down to its final 4 outs, and looks like it'll be a new arm that faces Decatur to do so.
Just trying to get some guys in this blowout affair. We'll step aside. New pitcher coming on for Thrillville. New pitcher on for the Thrillvillies is the right-hander Joey Fry from Columbus, Indiana, representing Parkland College. He makes his 3rd appearance of the summer. He's a 13.50 earned run average in 3 1/3 innings pitched coming into this one. His last time out, Came against the O'Fallon Hoots back on Tuesday in Game 1 of that doubleheader. He gave up 3 runs on 3 hits in an inning and a third. Didn't strike anybody out. And he walked 3 hitters, but Daniel, he's coming on, put the ball in his hands in a 14-run ball game. He's maybe looking to get the final 4 outs and send the fans home happy early.
Yeah, the Bean Ballers dug themselves quite the hole, and so long as Fry doesn't allow Bean Ballers to go +5 in their next 4 outs, if it's even Fry that gets next inning, we'll see. It's possible that Thrillbillies just want to get as many arms in as they can, but nonetheless, it is a tough task for Decatur. They need 5 runs at least to keep this one going through the next 2 innings, and then they'll need overall 14 runs to tie it. So certainly quite the hole Decatur's in as they've dug themselves a crater, but we'll see if Decatur's capable of getting itself out.
Brady Grabowski, nobody on, 2 out here in the top of the 6th, 18-4 Thrillville. First pitch from Fry. Swing and a miss from Grabowski, 0-1. He's 0 for 3 tonight, struck out swinging last inning. Again, the run rule here in the Prospect League is 10 after 7th. The Bean Ballers need 5 more runs before the end of next inning. The 0-1. Hit in the air, first base side, and backing out of play. Up on the concourse here at Mtn Dew Park, and it's 0-2 on Grabowski. Gets a warm welcome to his former team. Said hi to a lot of people, shook a lot of hands, made a lot of people smile. Only good things were spoke about Grabowski and his time he spent last summer as a Thrillbillie. The 0-2 pitch. Slider on the outside corner catches him looking. And he's down on 3 pitches. Joey Fry comes in. He throws 3 strikes, sets Grabowski back to the dugout. We've played 5.5 here in Decatur. The Thrillbillies, they're somehow still hungry and looking for more runs when we come back in the bottom of the 6th. Two, three, four for the Thrillbillies. Use a 13-run 5th inning. That have propelled them to this advantage they now hold. As it'll be 2, 3, 4, Bernruder, Effrig, and Bowerly. Possibly looking for more. Bean Ballers have only allowed 20 runs in a game once this year. They gave up 24 against the Cape Catfish, who set the Prospect League record for wins in a single season yesterday with their 44th win of the summer. A juggernaut of a team, and for me, I'll be donning an O'Fallon Hoots cap come playoff time. I'd love to see the Hoots knock off the Catfish on Sunday in the divisional round, not just because, you know, no one likes the best team in the league, but also a couple Linwood guys on the O'Fallon team, so I'd like, you know, Nick Bonkowski and William Zara to do well and maybe upset the team trying to go back-to-back, but Sunday seems like a long way off as we possibly have 2 more half innings left in this one with the Thrillbillies up 14 runs. They get Brandon Abernathy back on the round, and it's Hayden Bernruder to the plate. First pitch, rolled on the ground over towards second. Will Applegate fields, and he throws out Bernruder. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Yeah, how about that? Good pace after Decatur. It took a while to get the first out after the first 5 reached last inning, and then it took a while longer to get the second out as the next 9 reached before the second out was recorded, but 1 pitch, 1 out for Abernathy in the 6th.
Now Riley Ifrig, he's 2 for 3, 3 runs scored. He singled and walked last inning. First pitch to him is low and away for ball 1. Ifrig, not a Lindenwood man, but he is in the St. Louis area at SLU, St. Louis University, where he's made back-to-back Atlantic 10 all-conference second teams. Takes a second pitch downstairs as well. It's 2-0. His first year in the Prospect League. He spent the last 2 summers up in the Northwoods. 2-0 from Abernathy. Swung on. Line to left. Grabowski's backpedaling onto the warning track, and he makes the grab, taking away extra bases from Ifrig for out number 2 in the 6th.
Yeah, Ifrig puts a charge into this one, but unfortunately for him, there's just maybe a little too much topspin as it dies on the warning track and ends up in the glove of Grabowski. Sharply hit, but there's out number 2.
Oh, with 2 outs, it's Pierce Bowerly, who's yet to be retired tonight. He's scored 4 runs. He's tallied 2 singles, an RBI, and 2 walks. First pitch from Abernathy. Swung on, hit high in the air, shallow right field. Delgado coming on, and he won't get there, and it tucks in foul, and it bounces over his head. Bowerly will have extra bases. The throw into second, not in time.
Wow, nearly got him at second. This is great recovery from Delgado. It bounces, and he's running towards the wall, needs to slow up, so he doesn't want to lay out, but it lands fair. He can't quite get to it, and then he bounces past him as he runs by it, but gets to it quickly, and a laser as he nearly got Bowerly at second. But nonetheless, it is a double.
Now Hayden Rawls digs in. First pitch from Abernathy. Fastball on the outside corner for a strike. Sometimes when you're having a night like Pierce Bowerly, everything falls. It's his 22nd hit of the summer. It's also a new single game high in hits, his 3rd hit of the night. The 0-1 fouled off by Rawls, 0-2. He has just 1 hit tonight. That was a single in his 2nd time up last inning. He's 1 for 2. He's gotten walked and also gotten hit by a pitch and scored 3 runs. But for Rawls, it's also his 12th multi-hit game. Excuse me, for Bowerly, it's his 7th multi-hit game, and also his 5th of his last 6 games have been of the multi-hit variety. 1-2 to Rawls. Off the end of the bat, flare down the first base line, back into the seats. Is his 4th double, and he represents the Thrillbillies' 19th run right now in scoring position. 1-2 downstairs from Abernathy, 2-2.
Yeah, and Bowerly, first time against Decatur, his first game with the Thrillbillies. 2 for 4, 3 RBIs, including a 2-run home run in his first ever at-bat in the Prospect League. Also drew a walk.
2-2, line to left, slicing away from Grabowski. He leaps and he makes the grab. Nifty play from Grabowski to end the inning. The Thrillbillies strand 1 in scoring position, and they can't tie their single game high in runs in a game this season. We're headed to the 7th. The Bean Ballers need 5 if they want to keep playing. Trailblazers are looking to end this one early when we come back.
Top of the 7th, Bean Ballers need 5 runs to keep things going here on the penultimate night of the Prospect League season, and it's Joey Fry back to the mound. Fry finished out the 6th, and he's being asked, got the last out, only faced one hitter, struck Brady Grabowski out looking, being asked to get possibly a couple outs, maybe all 3 in the 7th. It's 5, 6, 7 due up. Gage Reynolds, Noah Delgado, and Hampton Petska. Once again, the Bean Ballers are going to need 5 runs to keep this one going. And they'll also need to go +5 overall in the inning to play an 8th. As they could get 5, but the Thrillbillies, should Thrillville get 1 in the bottom half of the 7th, if there is one, that would also end it. So it's a 10-run rule. Bean Ballers need 5 to keep it going. First pitch to Reynolds. Half swing. Dribbler off to the right and foul ground. Reynolds 0 for 2 his first 2 times up. A ground out and a strikeout, but then blasted a solo home run his last time up. Way out to left field against Ben Ayala, the starter. That was Reynolds' first long ball of the season after he hit 4 this past spring at Millikan University. 0-1. Reynolds fouls it off to the right. 0-2.
Well, if there's any moral victories, the Bean Ballers, they gave up an inside the park home run, but only just one. And doing some baseball research, back July 31st, 1972, Hall of Famer Dick Allen hit 2 inside the park home runs in the same game. So, credit to the Hall of Famer, but didn't happen to Decatur tonight.
Yeah, 0-2's upstairs, 1-2. So Decatur has not given up this season 2 in the park home runs to anyone. There's only 1 to 2 players, but 1-2 pitch. Flared down the right field line. It gets foul again. Still 1-2. Reynolds slowly catching up to the fastball from Fry. Got Grabowski looking on a slider. Bean Ballers in Danville tomorrow. The Dans have since been eliminated since the last time Decatur visited, which was back on Tuesday. 1-2 pitch. Reynolds takes a slider upstairs, 2-2. And this would round out. That will round out the season. The inaugural season for the Decatur Bean Ballers is nearly in the books. 2-2 pitch, another slider away, and it's 3-2 now to Reynolds.
And if you're Fry, you just need to throw strikes. You're up 14. Granted, you want to end this one early, but you would still have to give up 5 runs. So just challenge these Decatur hitters and go right after them.
Payoff pitch. Slider called, strike 3 on the inside corner. Reynolds is rung up. He thought it was ball 4, but instead it is strike 3. Decatur down to its final 2 outs.
That's the tough pitch. Breaking ball inside. It's a good spot from Fry right at the bell. And it's one of those 50-50 calls. And in a game like this, I think it favors the team that's ahead by 14.
Noah Delgado to the plate. 0 for 2 with a walk. Overall, Decatur has just 6 fewer hits. 6-12 in the hit column. Bean Ballers trail the Rockabillies, but rather the Thrillbillies. But Thrillville has 18 runs. Decatur has just 4. It's now 0-1 to Delgado. Delgado, his young Bean Baller career, takes a pitch outside. Comes into this one, hitting .250, a little below that after the 2 outs he's made, but hasn't been with Decatur for too long. This is just his 8th game. Fry's 1-1. Fouled back into the screen, 1-2. And meanwhile, Reynolds is a guy who's been with Decatur this whole season, as has C.J. Scheffel. Both of those two at times weren't everyday guys, and Scheffel has made very few starts this season, just his 3rd today. But nonetheless, they've been with Decatur the whole ride. Few guys can say that. It's the 1-2. Just inside, 2-2. It was a pivotal moment back in the 4th. The Bean Ballers went walk, 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 walk. Scored a run, had the bases loaded, strikeout, double play. Came away with just 1 run that inning. Now it seems that Fry and Rawls, despite it being a 14-run ball game, aren't on the same page, so Rawls heads out to chat with his pitcher.
I think he could just yell at pitches, "Hey, fastball, slider." Not sure what's the confusion, why nothing was wrong until now, but hey, you know, maybe they're just going out to chat. Maybe Hayden Rawls and Joey Fry, good friends, and Joey wanted to tell him a joke.
Or maybe they want to discuss what they want to do after the game, you know?
Hey,
who knows?
you know,
Summer ball, maybe you're staying with the same host family, or maybe not with this. Maybe you're all alone and you want to hop on a video game with your friend. Who knows? But nonetheless, I think those two are the only ones who will actually know what's going on in that conversation. But it has since dispersed. And Fry from the windup deals the 2-2 to the lefty Delgado. Takes in the dirt. Count goes full. Delgado has been a tough guy to strike out. Struck out 5 times. He's walked 5 times. Payoff pitch, clubbed, high in the sky, down the right field line. Ifrig is under it, and he makes the catch in foul territory. And Decatur's down to its final out.
It's one that hangs in the zone, but Delgado can't get the meat of the barrel to it, just gets under it. And now just like that, Decatur's down to their last life here tonight.
That brings up Hampton Petska. Looking to keep this one going. Petska so far is 1 for 2. Struck out his last time up, but has a double and a walk and a pair of runs scored. Takes the first pitch in the dirt, ball 1. Petska yesterday clubbed a solo home run. Today he has a double. 2 of his 3 extra base hits on the year in the last 2 games. And 2 of the 3 extra base hits, both doubles, have come here at Mtn Dew Park. 1-0 pitch. Check swing, no swing on a slider outside. It's 2-0. And should Petska reach, Jackson Newton is on deck. He's himself walked twice. C.J. Scheffel in the hole, who's also doubled and walked. Bean Ballers have had base runners aplenty today. They've drawn their fair share of walks, had 6 hits, but hasn't translated to runs the way the Thrillbillies base runners have. Pitch inside nearly hits him. It's now 3-1. Decatur still down to its final out. 3-1 pitch to Petska. Driven in the sky. Playable for Nowak. He's under it, and he makes the catch. That retires the side, and that ends the ball game. A disappointing end to a game that seemed close and then was anything but. Down here in Thrillville, Marion, Illinois, it finishes. Bean Ballers lose 18-4.
Yeah, I mean, the 13-run inning did them in, and just an inability to throw strikes, and then you really had to think it was that inning in the 4th for Decatur. They had the bases loaded, nobody out. They only scored 1 run. And then the pitching just kind of fell apart. So now you're back at it tomorrow for the final game of the inaugural season. And certainly not the result you wanted to have today, because this was not the showing you wanted. This was not Bean Ballers baseball. This is not what you wanted to represent the city of Decatur is. Daniel, it certainly has been a ride. Truman Gracel, he's Daniel Herzog. Faces to the voices. Daniel, you know, a lot of the times if you're following the social medias, you've seen us do the post-game interviews for when the Bean Ballers have won, which unfortunately have come fewer and far betweener than we would have hoped. But if this is our last night with rain in the eastern Illinois forecast, I hope it's not, Daniel, but it's been a pleasure calling games with you this summer. And I've certainly had fun. And we've made it fun, and I hope you listeners at home has also had fun.
Absolutely. We're talking with players. They say, you know, they haven't really had a relationship with broadcasters the way they have with us. You know, we're traveling with the team. You see them on the bus rides, playing Mafia, having fun with the guys. We see them before the game, after the game, and it's really been a blast. You know, I feel like we did this last night. I want to do it again tonight just in case there is no tomorrow, and just hand out some thank yous. A big thank you to all the good people at Golden Rule Entertainment, Jamie Toole, Glenn Gutek for this opportunity. Big thank you to Greg Gutek, Jacob Jacob Watkins, Mike Mose, management with the Decatur Bean Ballers. Big thank you to my parents.
I'd like to thank his parents too.
Listening to every game so far this season. I know Truman, his parents have as well. A big thank you to all the parents of Bean Ballers players and all the fans who have tuned into our games as well. We can't thank you enough. We've so enjoyed bringing you Bean Ballers baseball all this summer, and we hope we get one more game, but just in case we don't, we wanted to do this so we can, again, like Truman said, put a face to a voice and hope this isn't the end of the year, but maybe it is.
I also just want to take time to thank all the players that have donned a Bean Ballers uniform. There's been a lot. I mean, we'll start with the position players. Will Applegate, Chase Weiss, Jackson Miller, Isael Maldonado, O'Neal Feliz, Grayson Robertson, Dane Rasky, Jackson Snitko, Brady Grabowski, Gage Reynolds, Carter Rich, Brandon Abernathy, Keegan Farnes, Garrett Allen, Noah Delgado, Moises Febriet, Caleb Kreider, Matthew Novominski, Jagger Snitko, Jackson Newton, CJ Scheffel, Isaac Flowers, Trevor Geis, Charlie Linderman, Hampton Petska, Brandon Schultz, Carson Quinn, and then all the pitchers that have stepped up on the mound and done their best this season. Schaefer Ogle, Nate Trimble, Parker Phillips, Cade Millville, Max Gregory, Daniel Ruiz, Alex Tame, Manuel Toro, Carter Murphy, Noah Chapo, Bruno Bonuelos, Gavin Houchins, Caden Davis, Luke Bonstetter, Tyler Powell, Baron Odom, Raul Gill, Patrick Kennedy, Gene Rodriguez, Adam Cooper, Ethan Murphy, Theron Wiseman, Joshua Day, David Mercer.
One final thank you, a big thank you to Gabe Arroyo, John Toney, Pete Romero, Bean Ballers coaching staff. They've been so good to us, and we've really enjoyed all the conversations, all the lineup photos we've taken, all the times we've spent with them. This really has been a blast of a summer. And unfortunate that, comes with a lot of losses, but it's part of summer baseball is just connecting with a lot of people. You named a lot of people, and college rosters aren't that big. There are some players who only played a few games or only pitched a few innings. There are some players who have been here the whole time, but either way, really appreciate all the good times with the Bean Ballers. Hope there's one more game, but if there isn't, finishes here down at Mtn Dew Park in Marion, Illinois. My broadcast partner, Truman Griesel. I've been Daniel Herzog as the Bean Ballers drop this one 18-4 to the Thrillville Thrillbillies. Thank you to everyone who tuned in so far this season. Really appreciate you all, and hope everyone has a great night.